Hamas released 3 Israeli hostages, while Israel freed 183 Palestinian prisoners. In Ukraine, Russian drone and missile strikes resulted in at least 8 fatalities. A significant strike on an apartment block in Poltava killed 7 people, including 3 children, and injured 14 others. Another casualty was reported in the Kharkiv region. In Philadelphia, an air ambulance crash resulted in 7 deaths and 19 injuries. The Learjet 55, registered in Mexico, crashed shortly after taking off from Northeast Philadelphia Airport. All 6 people on board, including a child patient and her mother, were killed. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, the army is combating M23 rebels in South Kivu province.
The Congolese military has suffered significant losses, with hundreds of troops and foreign mercenaries surrendering.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
Damn good coffee. And hot.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with a Dog. You make me laugh.
Funny how that thing down there says the wrong name on it. I wonder if correct that. It doesn't look like it's the wrong guy. That's all I'm saying. Call him. Oh, good morning, folks. Listen, it is Monday, your favorite day of the week, new month, Monday, February 3rd, 2025. And that was a pop quiz question this morning from the paramedics in my house. I had a little stroke. I think. If you're calling in sick, you're a pussy. Listen, I had a stroke in a TIA somewhere around midnight today, maybe 11:30 last night. But the paramedics were here until 1 a.m. And so if you're calling in sick today, you're a pussy. Because I showed up for work. I got in my car and drove all the way here to be part of the program this morning for you. Even though I could be dead. Well, I might be dead. Here's what happened. There was yelling and screaming going on in the house. Not with me. I had no part of it. My wife and her daughter were screaming at each other and getting my blood pressure up just a bit. And then the daughter's fiance started chiming in. I was thinking, I need to tell him to shut the fuck up and butt out of it. And I was restraining myself, and the dog was freaking out, and I was comforting the dog. I went to get up, and then I blacked out. And the next thing I know, my wife was here, and the kids were gone. It was quiet. And I said, what happened? And they left. I think I had a TIA. And then she wanted to call the ambulance. I said, no, don't call 911. I'm not going to no fucking hospital. So the paramedics came here, took my blood pressure. My blood pressure was through the roof, trying to get me to go through the hospital. And then they started asking me questions. What my name is, how old I am, date of birth. And then they ask, what year is it? 2025. And who's president? I say, are you trying to give me a fucking joke? So I got a new joke out of it. It's the thing. We're probably heading towards the Great Depression today. Not just me, America. Canada, supposedly Canada hates us. I don't know if that's true. I think there are some people in Canada who still hardcore MAGA people, make North America great again people up there. I don't know. I just want it to end. Can't he just, why can't that fat fuck have a stroke? I'm sorry. I'm going to give myself a stroke. I feel fine. I've had a TIA before. Let me just tell you something. If you had a TIA every day, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. If you had TIA every day, you probably save a lot of money on weed and alcohol because it's a good buzz. I mean, when you come back from a dead brain, it's a good buzz. It's a weird buzz, but it's a good buzz. It's kind of like, woo, I don't remember this planet. Have I been here before? So it's nice there in that way. Today, we have no guest in the first hour. In the second hour, we have an actor named Matt Drago, who is most well known for a show. His role as Fabian in a show called Somewhere in Montana, which I'm not really familiar with. But you could name any show, and I'd not really be familiar with it. Last night, the Grammys were going on. I don't want to steal any thunder from a possible showbiz report today, so maybe I just won't say anything about that until we know. If there's going to be no showbiz, then I have something to say about what I know, what I heard about the Grammys. So that's that. Listen, if you know what, you want to avoid a stroke, one thing you can do is get high daily.
With humble East Coast beginnings in 2015, Daily High Club is the premier destination for glass water pipes, vaporizers, and consumption accessories. If you're looking to elevate your smoking game to the next level, you're in the right place. With over 1 million top-quality smoking products sold, and with a growing base of over 10,000 monthly subscribers worldwide, we deliver the ultimate smoking experience. But Daily High Club is not just a retailer, we're lovers of the smoking scene ourselves, working with giants like Tommy Chong, Snoop Dogg, Chanel West Coast, and more. Ready to join the Daily High Club? Let our experts curate your collection with our awesome El Primo monthly subscription box, or grab one of our fun and unique pieces from our smoke shop. Click the link in the description below this video to get this party started now.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the room with me now are Stephen, I'm a UFO guy, Ortiz, Ron, I like to stroke, not have a stroke, Kane, and GD. What the fuck is he late for? He didn't have no stinking stroke. Fenderson, good morning, fellas. What the hell is going on here?
Good morning, America.
Good morning, fellas.
Yeah.
Steven got your back. Steven got your back with a good morning louder than your good morning. He's trying to over dominate. He's like being Trump, like grabbing the handshake and pulling you in. You see that? I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
I'm done.
We were rude.
Yeah.
No. Go ahead, give us a little morning salutation. Come on.
No. I'm done. No.
Megan.
No, because I didn't write it down. I had it memorized. I didn't have time to write it down, and so he fucked up my flow. He fucked up my flow.
All right. Why were you so late? You didn't have no stinking stroke. Why were you so late?
Because I had
you have a stinking stroke?
Actually, no. I was at my computer. I just lost track of time. I wasn't watching you guys. And I looked up at the clock and it said 9:02, and I went, I didn't miss much.
Was it that Brazzers thing?
What?
Brazzers, whatever. The Vic Vic LaGina is going to be on Thursday. Yes, the porn guy.
You know,
is that what you were watching? Lost track of time. I'm losing track of time. I don't know.
I got some audio from Matt's from the paramedic showing up.
Oh my fucking
the Monopoly guy.
They never said anything about Monopoly. I would have played.
Thanks for the free parking.
They wanted to bring me to the hospital, and then they get the doctor on the phone, and the doctor's telling me the risk. You know, you could die. Yeah, don't threaten me with a good time. I don't know what that means. It's a fucking joke. You're fucking. I'm just, they get my blood pressure up. That's what happens, and they shouldn't do that. They should just stay calm and not yell at each other, scream at each other. And then the guy chimed in, and I was going to take him up to the roof. But
did the doctors say to
I'm
you?
coming for you.
No, basically they made me sign something to say that if I die, I won't sue them. Hello. If I die, how about this? If I die, I won't come to your house and fucking kill you. How about that? If I die, I won't even call you. How about that?
How about if you die, you won't haunt them?
No, I'm not signing anything that says that.
No, don't limit. If you're gonna be limited in life, don't be limited in the afterlife.
Right. So, but one of the questions they ask you is who's president. Like, they got to give you some new questions to ask, dude. You don't want to ask that one right now.
Yeah, because what if you think it's 2016?
Right. That's what I was just about to say.
What if you think it's 2017 or 2018?
Yeah, that's exactly. Or like, what if it was Bush and you're like George Bush, and you think it's fucking 1988? Like, what's happening? I don't know.
Why are you trying to fuck with the old man? Don't you know my brain shut off for a minute last night?
Which is different how from any other day?
Well, most of the time it doesn't shut off. It's just a power outage. But this was a shutdown.
Oh, it's just a simple blue screen. All you have to do is hit Control-Alt-Delete, and that usually does it.
Right.
Yeah, get the task manager up and kick that bitch into high gear. Also,
or unplug it, count to 30, and plug it back in.
And also, you're alive in here, so there you go.
Yeah, and you came to the right place to not get sympathy.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm giving you about as much as I get in the hospital.
I'm not looking for any sympathy.
That's what I said. You came to the right place to not get it.
Right. Well, but I do feel like I should get some sympathy for surviving it. The doctor said you might die. Like, okay, all right, promise, okay, deliver. Friday night I was doing a paint show, live little, and all the power went out, and then I was stuck in this room in complete darkness with paints everywhere, and had to try to clean up in the darkness, which was not fun. I'm using my phone in like one hand with the phone and taking paints out. And then after I got the room clean, I went on Facebook because we have a community group and see what the power outage was about. And in my Facebook group, they said, "Did you see all the cop cars and park rangers down by Dartmouth and Valentine?" Which is my house is at the corner of Dartmouth and Valentine. And they said they were investigating fresh, wet blood. And I like this. Is that really? And as it was related to the blackout, and I never got any answers on it. What could that be? Like, usually blackouts aren't associated with fresh, wet blood, right? My wife said, it's probably a deer or somebody probably hit a deer. How the fuck does that make the power go out? I don't know.
Maybe they hit the deer, and the deer like went up in the air and hit the transformer.
The deer flew up and hit the transformer 40 feet up in the air.
Well, if it was a semi, right? That's possible.
Semi
truck
on my street?
No, I think you said semi.
I've never been to your neighborhood.
Semi.
Oh,
a Jewish deer.
A Jew?
It could have been a Jewish deer. They fly. That's what Santa Claus uses for Christmas because he can't get anything else to work on that day.
Yeah, you think there would be some follow up with that though? Somebody would put something like that, fresh blood, and
maybe somebody was working on the transformer and they fell. But of course, then if that was the case, there should be a power truck nearby that he was part of.
Yeah, or something.
Because you don't usually work on transformers from a ladder.
Right.
I know that for a
here
fact.
it is usually Transformers come to Earth to help. They don't usually cause chaos unless they're Decepticons. So that could be the issue.
Oddly enough, about like an hour before, I think about an hour before, Steven texted me something about being a Transformer. Right? You remember?
Yeah, I did.
It's all coming together now. The puzzle pieces of the puzzle don't really fit.
Listen,
but
I didn't want to tell you guys this, but I am secretly the cause of all the issues in the world. I just dropped little hints.
I don't think that's secret.
Right.
Do you mean you as an European white male, or you as in Stephen Ortiz specifically?
Me, not like the royal we or us, just me.
Wait a minute, European?
Well,
European?
I pooped this morning. I'm not peeing right now.
All right.
Yeah. Do you have
Are
Survivor's
you a
Guild?
retard?
Yes.
I was even more of one when I did know the right year and my birthday, and but I could have told him anything for the birthday. How would he know?
Was your wife in the room? She might know.
Yeah, my wife was in the room, and
then she could say that's not right. He's much older than that.
I bet you my wife doesn't even know. She doesn't even know. She don't know me. Nobody knows me. Nobody knows the real me.
Now it sounds like nobody knows the Matthew I've been.
Yeah, but that's because
nobody knows.
You've been in witness protection for like 40 years, so you don't even know the real you anymore.
I've been in witness erection for the last 40 years.
That's what Epstein liked.
Yeah. Did you guys watch the Grammys at all? I didn't.
Fuck no. I saw pictures of Jaden Smith with a fucking house on his head, and I'm like, this is not worth turning on. Nope.
It's just weird because in my world, it's always doom and gloom. And like I'm on Twitter while I'm working, and I'm on Twitter, like the world is coming to an end according to Twitter today. Somebody said we're going to lose everything tomorrow. I'm ahead of the game. I lost everything last week. But
no, you still got a couple months left. Come on.
You sure?
Yeah, you got a couple months. You gotta give this thing at least 6 months to a year to fully crash.
Well, it was saying that he's going to crash the stock market today because with all the tariff stuff, the reaction to the tariffs.
Probably.
Well, there goes my $40.
Well, I'm not worried about the stock market per se, but I don't buy stocks, but I do have 401k stuff, and so whatever. This is why when the doctor says you could die, I'm like, yes, and when you keep promising, you don't deliver.
What's up with all the good news? When are you going to deliver on it? Let's go. Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah. So I just the one award that you know the award that I'm talking about. Do you know the award that I'm talking about? You know the award, right? You know the award, right? You know.
I didn't see the show.
All right.
I didn't watch the Grammys.
Well, can I say it? Because are you going to do a show business about the Grammys at all? Or no, I could say it, right?
Yeah, you can say it.
Beyonce won the Grammy for Best Country.
That is wild to me.
I haven't heard a single song of it, but I am betting it sounds nothing like Johnny Cash.
It's nothing, dude. It's barely, dude. It doesn't even sound like stadium country. It doesn't even sound like Luke Bryan or fucking Jason Aldean.
It sound like Willie Nelson.
No, it sounds like fucking Beyonce over a country.
Oh no,
it's Beyonce over a country. I'm not saying she's not talented or not the head of the Illuminati. We'll cover that on.
Does she even mention once on the album? Does she on any point on the album mention beer, pickup truck, or my dog?
Well, she talked about Jay-Z, so does that count as her dog?
Oh, my dog, slappy.
But I think you have to actually say the words "my dog."
Slappity.
It has to be some mention of a bar or honky tonk or some. It's not a country bar without these country album without these elements. I mean,
my ex-wife, the cold beer. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You left me. I'm gonna die. Don't threaten me with a good time.
My sister fucked my brother and left me for my cousin. Yeah, it sounds nothing like that.
Where'd you get that from? That's somebody. Is that a Walk Hard? Is that No.
Oh, I don't know. I was just putting words together that I've heard in music.
I think that was. It sounded like something.
You know who has a really good country parody is Bo Burnham has an awesome country song about how pandering and awful current country music is. It's fantastic. You should check it out.
I don't know if Toby Keith. This is Tim Law saying, didn't Toby Keith in Florida Georgia line? Thanks for pulling it out while I'm reading. Rapping their country music hits. Oh yeah, Toby Keith had one.
No,
way
they
back
did, and they did, but like they ended up creating a whole new genre for that. Yeah. They didn't sit there and just call it country though. That's
they
the
call
thing.
it country rap.
They call it country rap. They call it. It has but it has its own genre and its own category. I didn't see Toby Keith or Florida Georgia Line show up at the BET Awards getting the best rap album.
Because it wasn't.
No, and again, I'm not saying this album's bad or that it's or that she's untalented.
It can't be country.
But I don't think it's real country. I don't think it should be in that genre. I think
wait till she gets inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Country needs to have.
She's already in there.
Probably. Country needs to have like a stadium. Like I know they call it stadium country. But I don't feel like it's a real like through and through genre yet. It needs to be its own thing with its own category of awards.
Hey, we have a spokesman for country music right now to talk about it.
My jewelry on my neck, my 35 carats, going about it, 35 carats, now, yeah, now 35,000, yeah, now I'm gonna be flying to success, now driving to success.
Are you a retard?
Wait.
That dude raps.
Hold on a second. That "Are you a retard" soundbite. That's Rebecca De Mornay saying that to me.
Yep.
Oh, now I think. Now I get a boner whenever.
That makes you want to be a little slow, right?
Boner.
Yeah. The hand rocks the cradle.
Oh, that's nice. I like in Risky Business. She said, "Are you waiting for me?" And then she starts getting
Guys,
naked.
I have a weird segue. Since we're talking about retards.
You talking about the vehicle? You talking about the vehicle or the literary device?
Huh?
Both.
The transportation device or the literary device?
Literally. So check it out. I made Idahoan potatoes last night, right? Instant mashed potatoes for the kids, and I got some. I took a bite, and there was a metal ball bearing in my potatoes.
Right.
Yeah. Extra nutrients.
No,
you're supposed to swallow it whole.
You need some iron in your diet.
Nuh-uh.
You need some iron in your diet. Plus, it was probably the tongue ring from whoever.
I don't have a tongue ring. My tongue's not long enough.
And not yours. I was saying somebody else's. Your boyfriend. Whatever.
The potato tester, Inspector number 26.
That's right.
But this doesn't have a hole in it, like it belongs to some sort of earring or something. It's just a ball bearing.
It probably just came off a piece of machinery that flakes the potatoes.
I'm guessing this fell out of the pockets of one of the Asian kids working in the factory, because he uses it for a slingshot. That's my guess.
Or
Beyonce has been featured in exhibits and events at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She has not been inducted, as far as I know, or abducted. She hasn't been inducted or abducted.
Well, she's the leader of the Illuminati, so she won't get abducted. That's for sure.
Right.
That would be Paula Abdul.
You know, Steven's got a new show starting tonight, and I have no idea what he's doing tonight.
He doesn't either. He'll know by 8:59.
It's called Beyond Classified, and
tonight's episode will be like it's an introductory episode, and we're also going to touch on the UFO topic some.
Touch on it,
and then the future episodes will have more of a singular topic. The Illuminati will be one of those topics.
UFOs, unidentified fondled object.
No, we identified them.
His guest will be Travis Walton. There will be no guest. We got a ghost guy who wants to be on the show. I don't know if you saw that last night. A ghost guy. Ghost guy wants to be a guest guy. Guest ghost guy.
Guest ghost guy.
Oh my fucking god!
Oh, I love that. That's so great.
You want to let the guy, ghost guy on? You want me to book them?
Sure. Yeah.
Next week. All right. Yeah. So, GD, are you gonna be watching? Ron, you gonna be watching his little?
Ron's gonna be the farthest he can be from it. I can tell by the smirk on his face.
Why? I thought
because he doesn't do anything involving anything that's not.
He doesn't support.
And he's not into the what ifs. He's into the what the fuck is now.
What if the ghosts or aliens or whatever they were having like a wild orgy and were being taped for brazzers or brazers? What is it? Is brazzers?
It's brazzers. And here's the thing.
What does that mean?
We're talking about how, like, because you know how you were saying you're not sure how big brazzers is. They're like the biggest sponsor of like the adult video awards. So they're like a big name. Like all their models walk around with golden diamond encrusted necklaces that say it and everything.
I had a winner of one of those awards on the program a couple of years ago.
You got a Woody?
Her porn name is Eva Lavia, L-O-V-I-A. I'm not sure how you pronounce that.
She's a good one.
But her real name in real life is Candace Horback. I was like, what?
That's a porn name right there.
You didn't need to change that. It was already a porn. You were born with a porn name. Why did you change that?
This is probably true. Oh, not that one. This one. This is probably true, but to quote the great Jason Mewes, I want to be the first to discover an alien species and fuck it. So that's on my bucket list.
Going back just a tad, Ann Rothney out of Bakersfield, California, said the Grammys did disappoint. Disappoint.
But in what way? I mean, that could mean they. I don't know.
She didn't win one. She wanted one. She didn't win one.
Oh,
was it all the black people walking around?
Somebody on Twitter said Beyonce has more Grammys than she was named Paul McCartney, Elvis, whatever. 33. When the other guys I mentioned were like around 7. Well, that's a big difference.
Again,
well, I think but that means she's been nominated.
His hands were soft and supple.
Because I think as of last year, at the end of last year, she had been nominated 39 times. Wow. So she's been nominated at least 40 times. Then
she also gets thanked by everybody that wins one. So
what do you mean? Now,
Taylor Swift thanked her.
Well, Taylor Swift is thanked her.
Kanye went up and spanked Taylor Swift for winning when Beyonce should have won, right?
Kanye blew up for her. Who was it? Ariana Grande? No, JoJo Siwa. She's like, well, I better thank Beyonce. Like she was scared. Man, that's crazy. It's creepy. Just saying.
Right.
Baby blood. I don't know if they're drinking baby blood. But dude, there's some I don't know. I've always had weird vibes about Beyonce, man. There's just something creepy about her.
That's because it's creepier if you see her without her makeup.
I think I've seen her without makeup.
Oh.
Yeah.
But it not creepy?
What?
Is it not creepy?
Everything's
creepy.
Yeah. This is a creepy program. Everything mentioned on this program is by default creepy.
This is Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble. That's way bigger news than the Grammys.
I never heard of Jey Uso.
Jey Uso is
the
part
Royal
of
Rumble. The Royal Rumble's a streaming network up in Canada, right?
No, it's like one of the biggest WWE events of the year.
Now, see, because I'm like out of touch with a lot of new names and shit, I saw that at the beginning of that sentence, and I thought he was stroking out because it didn't make sense.
J-Lo, he was trying to write J-Lo, and
I was like it's like he's stroking out.
That was me 10 hours ago or something, whatever. Queen Bee is just ultimate industry plant. Queen Bee. I didn't even know she was called Queen Bee. She's just getting the.
Now I think the big news out of the Grammys is Chappell Ronan calling for a livable wage for artists out of the Grammys. That's getting a lot of
comedians, though, right? She's specifically targeting comedians when she said that.
Because Because I feel like most of the people in that room make a livable fucking wage on their music. So, like, who?
Well, some do, but she is right. I mean, music is probably even worse than comedy when it comes to getting paid.
That is so hard for me to believe.
I would say I would like to back you up on that, but I can't. I mean, listen, I've been getting paid since I was really 16, 17 years old consistently for every gig I did. I don't think that's the case in comedy. Now, is it big money? No. Sometimes it's $200, sometimes it's $300, but
see,
now the only thing is because I like you, Matt. I used to play in a band, and we got like a $200 gig. We had to split it 4 ways, or
see,
that
but
hasn't happened
for a comedian. A $200 night is a pretty big night. So, like.
For the average.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't think it's as bad as comedy, because I know people in comedy who have been calling themselves a professional comedian for 20 years and got paid once.
But I mean, yes and no. Yeah, you can make money as a musician, as a cover artist. I mean, you can certainly go down that route.
You can't do cover comedy.
No, you can't. So I mean, musically there.
I know a few people.
Let him finish talking.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, musically, you can make money off covers, and if you like doing that, you can definitely make decent money doing that. But then if you're just an original band going around trying to make money, it's extremely difficult.
It's difficult, but it's not as difficult in comedy. Listen, first,
how many hardcore bands are making money, like good money on the weekend?
Because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. You can make money doing it. It's not. It's not like in comedy. The opportunities aren't there. I mean, people rip off comedians.
So here's an example. In Fort Wayne, right? Even when comedy was a bigger thing. 10-1, you could go to almost any bar. They're looking for any live music talent to come in. They'll book almost anybody. But you go into those same establishments and say, hey, I'd like to do, hey, offering up a 2-hour comedy gig. We'll do the first one free, then the next one we'll charge, do whatever. And they're like 100% stop. No, not doing it.
Right.
But they'll take any fucking screamo punk band that comes in because they're a live band, and they'll be like, oh, sure, you guys can have an hour or 30 minutes. Sure, go for it.
Just for a frame of reference, and you guys I know you're young and probably maybe you have some awareness of this, but up until 1982, stand-up comedians in clubs, even the biggest stars, didn't get paid. There was a comedian strike at the Comedy Store. Jay Leno, Dave Letterman on the line. I mean, and at the time, they were the top stand-ups in the country, not getting paid. The rule was you don't pay comedians. You just don't pay them. They don't. Why would you pay them for comedy club work? They go there to hone their act, and that was the rule. And there was never such any rule like that in music ever. It was bizarre that to find out as a consumer. Wait a minute, these guys don't get paid anything.
Well, no, in music they just screw you over in other ways by by taking the rights to your music and not having the ownership to it. And being indentured servant.
Yeah.
Yep. And out of Bakersfield, California, says just referring to the Grammys when she watched it, her response is just not classy like they used to be. And no old school. Lots of nakedness. LOL. Although I love the new guy, Shabuzi was great.
Nakedness?
Well, I don't think she means nudity, but just like a lot of exposed body parts. I don't know.
Kanye and his wife got kicked off the red carpet, and she was naked.
Kanye has a new wife, or is not a Kardashian, or is it a Kardashian?
Yeah, not a Kardashian. But they got kicked out of the Grammys. They weren't invited, and she wore nothing under her coat.
I can't read what this says here. Times have changed. This is Tim Loss again. And times have changed. Clubs I think now offer a headshot, a credit, and $10 as you shuttle Chris Kattan around. Really, Chris Kattan?
Dude, I've heard. You know what's crazy is, and I'm not a shit talker, generally speaking, but there's a couple bookers around that will try to take huge advantage of the opener or the feature and be like, hey, do you think you can swing by the airport and pick up our headliner?
Yeah.
And then not even offer like an extra $20 for gas or anything. Yeah, it happens a lot. I keep hearing that. What is that? Is it the helicopter?
Radar. It is choppers coming in. One more plane crash or a helicopter crash or something, and we're going to be hearing about caravans or her emails in Benghazi again. Just
some sort of distraction. Yeah, I'm waiting for it because at this point, it almost sounds like they're trying to get people convinced that it's not safe to leave. Like, don't fly out of the country. You might die. Stay here.
Don't fly to Philadelphia or DC. It's a Northeast thing. It's a thing.
It's true.
These damn DEI hires.
I know. These damn mentally retarded Indian people and whoever else they're hiring.
So welcome to Minucci's. This morning that I'd heard about the Learjet, and my wife goes, "You're just finding out about the Learjet to crash into the house?" Like, yeah, I'm just. I had no idea. Learjet crashed into a house, and now it was an A3. They didn't crash. They went to take off, and their engine backfired or something, so they had to immediately get everybody off the plane.
You know, all right. I've always wondered why they build houses and infrastructure right there at the ends of the runways. It's like, yeah, if something fucks up, everyone there's fucked. It's a perfect example.
Well, sometimes the houses were there first, and they took the land and put the runway there, and then people had to go to court and say, no, we need to do something about the noise. And they go, okay, well, nothing bigger than such and such can land here. That'll take care of the noise.
Well, the guy's dead now, so I can mention this. In Ozone Park, Queens, this guy Tommy Romanelli mobbed. Planes coming in for a landing would fly right over his house, and he would go out with his .22 rifle and shoot at the planes every night. This was his hobby, shooting at jetliners.
Did he ever get good enough to hit one, or did he always aim at the plane instead of in front of the plane?
I think he certainly hit some, but I don't think the .22 was enough to make that much. You're hitting the baggage bin at the
I don't know if shooting a .22 up would do any real damage to a plane.
Yeah. It'll probably
you have to shoot it in front of the plane engine, so the bullet does this.
Remember, they're coming in pretty low now. They're coming in for a landing because this thing's the runway's right past his house, so they may be a couple of 100 feet up. I think a .22 would pierce the skin. They're not all that thick, but in
that case, aim for the tires. Shoot out the tires.
That's right.
I don't think. Well, yeah, the tires would make sense. I don't think you'd want to shoot the engine out because the plane would come down on his house.
Yeah, no, because just the idea that just one time you get bingo, the FAA and FBI and the CIA and LSD and THC will all be at your house.
Oh yeah, no, you're fucked. The whole alphabet's coming to fuck you in the ass. You're done.
Yes. Yeah.
And the neighbors will be applauding him while he's being arrested, going, "Good shot! Now we thank you for doing that for us. Thank you." And they
should have gone to one of those rallies while you were at it. Anyway.
Yeah.
You think Canada hates us? Do you think Canada? Do you think they hate us?
Dude, we're the trashy downstairs neighbors. We're the
no, they don't hate us.
I think you're right. I get that we're obviously low lifes down here, but I think there's a lot of them who are it's just an extension of the United States as far as attitudes. We've seen a lot of these fucking right wing, even comedians are from there who's been on the show, very hard right, MAGA.
There's
make Canada no.
I've talked to a few Canadians who were like
Makanga.
I've talked to a few Canadians who are legit worried for us and who are worried for themselves because of what we're going through. So I don't know if they all hate us, but I think the consensus is, why the fuck are we next to them?
Well, what about those soft dick conservative men that have no backbone and won't stand up and do anything? I mean, why are they even there?
Yeah, Steven.
They're getting back shots from Grindr.
Why won't you stand up or do anything, Steven?
I don't know. It's just not in my nature.
Now there's some Canadians or that are how should I put it? They're saying that Trump. They're saying that Elon. I'm trying to think. They're giving Elon Musk kudos. I can't remember for what now. Because it's not like he does anything.
There's a Canadian Nazi party. There's still a Nazi party in Canada, and Elon Musk's grandmother and grandfather were part of it.
I'm sorry. I said Elon Musk, and I'm sorry, I misspoke. It was JFK, because JFK was saying that they want to get rid of fluoride from our water supplies, and they were saying that now there's going to be real change down here. Well, the post originated in the U.S., but was reposted in Canada. That now we're going to go through. Kennedy's going to bring real
British
change
again. That's it. Make Canadian teeth British again.
I just can't believe how wimpy our country has become with these guys. I mean, you hear, the stories about Elon and his crew showing up at the Treasury Department and having access. Why does he even have access to that? He's an immigrant. He's an immigrant, and so he definitely eats pets. Why would you let anyone near?
And he's not even an official cabinet member. He's not. He doesn't have a real position. He's just a guy that Trump gave him a title.
I think he does have isn't he like the head of Doge?
Yeah, but that's not a real government agency. That's just the Trump thing.
I think he's trying to make it one, though, which does beg the question: if it's not a thing yet, why is Elon getting access to all this?
Right. Exactly. That's what I think that's what Ron is saying. That is what I am saying.
And does Doge identify as bi or they? Because doesn't it mean dick orgasms, gay enterprise?
It's so pathetic with this. Trump ordered that people take their pronouns out of their emails. If they work for the federal government, they have to. Who is that hurting? I mean, it just they focus on the most trivial, stupid things that don't make a difference to anybody. It pisses them off. It makes them uncomfortable seeing he, she, they, whatever they see in there. Just ignore it, man. Whatever happened to fucking just ignoring it, man? Thank you.
Whatever happened
4 minutes ago. 4 minutes ago from the New York Times, breaking news: stocks on Wall Street fell following a global slump as Trump's sweeping tariffs sent shockwaves through the markets.
Shockwaves? What if you didn't see that coming? Hello, I don't pay attention to these things. I mean, the stock market stuff, and I was told about it 2 days ago. How could shockwaves? What do you fucking? Don't be pissing in my ear and tell me it's raining. New York Times. I'm sorry.
Elon Musk is slowly becoming like Dr. Evil.
Slowly?
Well, not slowly, rapidly. Because now, if you have iPhones are now going to have access to Starlink.
Right.
Meaning they're all going to have the software in it to be accessed by Starlink. And it's like Apple won't give the government access to Apple systems, but he'll give Elon Musk.
Right. Yeah. It's all little hands Marco, or is it big hands Marco? Marco, down in Panama, threatening them with an invasion if they don't give us the canal. We can't take our canal and go home. I don't think. You know what? Who knows? I'm not going to predict this, but I don't think these MAGA people, or even they, are willing to send their children, their young boys and girls, teenagers and young men and women, down to fight over a canal. Like, okay, it's still there. We own it. What are we doing? I mean, it seems like a really stupid reason to lose your kids over. My kid died fighting for water, a waterway that could easily, I don't know. So he's making
the thing that's really stupid. I mean, there's so much stupid about him and what he does. I understand some of the things. I understand some of the things he says he wants to do, but he's going about it the wrong fucking way. He's so extreme and idiot. He's such an idiot. He can't think things through. And I know that there are people behind him who are like goading him on, saying, "Okay, we want this too." And I can't believe that the smart people that are behind him. And I say that because, for example, I know he doesn't know what an ad valorem tax is. I know he doesn't know that term. It's Latin. He doesn't know what the fuck that means. Somebody else taught him that. Like he doesn't, and then and you know how you know he doesn't know something? He'll go, "You may not know this," which means I didn't know this. He says that every time he just learned something. Every time he just learns something, he goes like, "You may not know this. A lot of people don't know this." He's a fucking idiot.
Right.
And I don't understand why the smart people behind him put up with this shit.
They're scared. They're scared. Well, basically, like one senator, a Republican senator, came out and said something against the tariffs, and Elon already said he was going to put like $250 million towards primarying them and making them lose it. They're all scared they're going to lose their power, and the power of the buck scares the shit out of them. So it's just threaten with primary. You know what?
See, here's the other thing. Okay, the guy that was in charge of the FAA under Biden, he resigned right after the inauguration. He resigned. He resigned because Elon Musk threatened him. Elon Musk threatened him because the FAA was fining Elon Musk hundreds of thousands of dollars for some of the shit that he's done, and he also grounded his rockets for a while, because one of his rockets exploded and debris just shot across the skies, and they had to shut down like airspace over several countries while the debris was falling. And Elon Musk, his response was, "Hey, no, shit happens," basically. And the FAA is like, "No, shit like that's not supposed to happen. You just shut down all of our airports." And so the FAA went after him, and that's why Elon Musk went after him. That's why he resigned. They're just there for their own interests. They're just trying to get rid of the things that watch over them, so they can make money and break laws and fuck over us.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's the game. It's do away with all the oversight, so they do away with the Consumer Financial Protection Board so that they can commit fraud. That agency was set up to stop banking fraud. That's what it was, and predatory banking. And
even still, they had enough loopholes that they could still fuck you over, and it would just be wrong, but not illegal.
Right. But yeah, so they are pro-fraud. The pro-fraud team. But now I may not know this, to paraphrase Trump. I may not know this, but didn't Justin Trudeau quit? Didn't he quit like a month ago or something?
No, but it's like a pending resignation. They have to have an election to replace him.
When Nixon quit, he just walked away.
That's because there was already but he left in disgrace. Trudeau wants an orderly transition. He wants the parties to have an election in March, I think, or something along those lines. It's been a while since I've had to look at that.
It's so weird. Like anytime I resigned or quit, it was effective immediately. Like what? Well, I'm not going to hang around here and just.
But you never turned in your notice and say, "This is my 2 weeks notice," or
no.
2 months notice.
You know what I'm thinking? I don't think I've ever done that. I think I'm out of here. Fuck you. That's my 2 seconds notice. Pending resignation. Ian's got the juice here. By the way, Ian's. I don't know if you've seen his latest little thing. His latest little thing, glass thing that he did. Looked like electric. It's like a Rudolph the Red-Nosed weed jar or something. Pending resignation once they orderly transition to a proxy candidate that does the same thing. So Wayne Gretzky, you're basically saying. Wayne Gretzky.
Well, if it was Wayne Gretzky, he wouldn't probably do the same thing, because I think Gretzky's the Trump guy, right? Or at least Trump is a Gretzky guy.
Yeah, why not Mark Messier? Let's go with Mark Messier instead. All right.
Fine.
You're not a hockey guy, are you? You know what? I know you're not a hockey guy? You're black. That's why I know you're not.
I can't believe how much all these prices have come down. I mean, I'm just buying stuff and throwing it away. Everything is so cheap.
Wow. Have you ever been to an Aldi?
Yeah, we got those out here.
Yeah.
It's two guys, but Al and D. They're brothers. But I know that because my ex-brother works there, and he told me that.
Well, Matt, I was going to say you had the hospital, or almost the hospital. Then Saturday, my grandmother took a turn, so she's like, basically, she's almost dead.
Fucking A. I mean, you know how lucky you are to still have a grandparent alive at your age. What are you, 94 or something? And you got your grandparents are still alive?
Yeah, I just turned a ripe old 95.
Wow.
Nah, then like I get that going on. Then like my mom's not doing so great, so it's 2025 is going to start off as a great year.
Hey, Steven's not doing so great. He just turned into an 8-ball.
Yeah,
that'd be a cue ball.
Let's snort him.
It's a cue ball.
Yeah. What else did I want to? Oh yeah, you shit that's not supposed to happen. This was a phrase that GD used just a few minutes ago. That shit's not supposed to happen.
Well, I don't know why I'd say that, because if it's happened, it's supposed to happen because all the events led to that moment.
Well, here's shit that's not supposed to happen. Shit that's not supposed to happen. The daughter moved back in the house. Now she's got a fiance, and
that's not supposed to happen.
Right. Well, the fiance was not supposed to move in. Saturday, this is what's not supposed to happen. I go to the bathroom and I lift up the toilet seat, and there's a bunch of shit and paper in there, and somebody clogged up my toilet. And they just put the lid down and walked away. Now that's not supposed to happen. You say something, they ask what. So I was like, "Where the fuck is the plunger?" I go looking in the basement and I can't find the plunger. And like, where the fuck happened to my plunger? I call my wife. I'm like, I know she moved the plunger. I said, well, I can't find the plunger. Somebody plowed up the shitter and just left it there and put the lid down. Like that's like surprise, and that's not supposed to happen. She said, I got rid of the plunger because I got the toilet fixed. I was like, wait, that's, and she's making a case now that no house should have a plunger. It's like every house in America has a plunger.
Some have two.
Right. So, I don't know where she gets the idea that, well, I got the toilet fixed, we don't need the plunger anymore. Like nobody's ever going to do that again. I don't.
Ian, I think you mistyped that. I think it should be, well, isn't that a fine how do you duty? A fine how do you doogie? How do you do?
How you do you do? How do you do? How do you do?
Oh, here is I have Chapel Ronan's quote. She said, "I would demand that labels offer a livable wage and health care, especially to developing artists."
Now, here's the deal. Okay, well, here's a deal. Back in, like, was it the 1920s? I guess the 1930s. I think it was Pitford. There's three actors. I'm trying to remember. I think Pitford was one. Mary Pitford was one, and I think Errol Flynn may have been the other. But there's three actors, and they got together because they were so unhappy about the way studios did things. They formed United Artists. So if these guys, if these artists are so concerned and upset about the way the big labels are doing things, form your own label that protects artists. Plain and simple. They got the money, and if Beyonce, I'm just saying, just for example, because I don't know what kind of contracts they have, but let's say Beyonce and Taylor Swift and one other big name person says the three of us are going to form our own label and look after the artists. We'll give health care. We'll give adequate protections or decent contracts. They would have something.
They would have something. Let me just a little bit of history revision. It's been done 3 or 4 times. Geffen Records, Curb Records. There was another one, a punk label. They've all done that. And
yeah, but they were all driven out of one thing. Most of them were sucked up and absorbed by bigger companies.
that's why the corruption finds its way in. So yeah, they've been started with those intentions, and they never last because the devil finds a way in.
But again, that's why I picked out Beyonce and Taylor Swift and some other big someone who can afford, has the money that says, okay, we can afford the attacks.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just drive us out of business. The other companies like Stax, they were having financial problems, and there were also some of them were being skimming from the inside.
Right.
You know, a lot of times the corruption comes from inside. It weakens the institution, and then it gets sucked up. But if you have good fiber, moral fiber, and real ideas,
that's the problem. Nobody does, and nobody does.
Well, that was my solution. Find people with good money and good morals.
Wait, are you talking like in this country?
Look, okay. Maybe Stephen can talk about that on Beyond Classified. As to whether or not there have to be rich people with good conscience, or once they become rich, do they lose their conscience, or do they have to have no conscience to become that rich?
Right. This is right. We have a guest coming up in the next hour who is an actor on a show called. He's been on a What Would Jesus Do? Which I want to know what would Jesus do.
That's Jesus. They're talking about the gardener, and he would probably just do a very good job with the pruning shears.
But he's also on a show called Somewhere in Montana. Are you familiar with this show?
I think that's a movie. That's a movie, not a show.
It's a movie?
Yeah. I think their tagline is "The land is hard, life is harder," or something like that.
That would be me. Oh no, I'm not harder. I'm softer. What? All right. I don't know. Ron,
what's the guy's name again?
Matt Drago or Drago.
Yeah.
Is it? In Rocky 3, it was Drago, right? Or Rocky 2?
Was that? How do they spell it though? Because
Drago, not Dago. Drago. Oh, that was really, really offensive to Italian people.
I think the first offensive joke I learned, and it took me a second to get it. No, I'm just saying. When I was a kid, it was like I got it from the Reader's Digest. I think. And it's like, have you heard about the new Italian snow tires? They go through rain, they go through snow, and when they go flat, they go wop, wop, wop.
Wow. I remember
Matt Drago was in a movie called What Would Jesus Do?
I know.
The journey continues.
Yeah. Did I just say that?
Yeah.
I thought I just said that.
Is it supposed to be a comedy, or I mean,
I don't know. I wonder what would Jesus do. I tell you what Jesus would do. He'd say, "I'm moving to Canada." That's what Jesus would do, right? I don't know.
Oh no, I didn't. Okay.
What? What are you finding out? Uh-oh.
That Jesus movie has John Schneider in it from Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh, so it's yeah.
Yes.
Okay, brace yourselves. We're gonna get duped. I did not know that. I know
that
this guy,
movie looks hilarious.
I do know he likes to talk about politics somewhat. That's in his Podmatch page about politics. I'm guessing it's Jesus.
Oh my
really
yeah. He has another one called Cruising the Apocalypse. After the world ends, one aspiring chef refuses to give up on his dreams and creates the apocalypse first cooking show.
That's just got a very weird thing. That's just a very weird. Whoever thought that up was definitely high on something. Might have been mind blown. Anyway, I'm going to play news because we're at the top of the hour, right? Are we at the top of the hour?
We've got 2 minutes till, 1.5 minutes till the top.
Why is that the top of the hour? Isn't that this is the bottom of the hour then? I'm at the bottom of the hour, right?
No, it's near the top because the 12, the little hand is going like this.
All right. Hold on a second. Yesterday, did you see a groundhog? Or did you see a groundhog shadow? Or did the groundhog see you? Or did the groundhog see your shadow?
I didn't even pay attention to that.
I want to know is when spring coming? That's what I
the thing is, Groundhog's Day was my late father-in-law's favorite holiday.
6 more weeks of winter.
Holiday. He loved it. He liked the garden and stuff like that. So he loved Groundhog's Day. And so Carol and I were going to do something in his honor out here because it was Groundhog's Day. And it was really, really cold, super cold out. And I didn't want to do it, but she told me to go for it. Go for it. To go Groundhog's Day. Go for it.
Go for it. I get it. That's did you do who knows what evil lurks in the hearts and minds of men? The shadow do.
6 more weeks of winter.
Yes. All right, news.
In the Democratic Republic of Congo, the army is combating M23 rebels in South Kivu province.
The Congolese military has suffered significant losses, with hundreds of troops and foreign mercenaries surrendering. Humanitarian efforts are severely hindered, affecting millions displaced by the conflict. Extrajudicial killings and other abuses have been reported by both rebels and Congolese forces. Kyle Norris reporting.
In Ukraine, Russian drone and missile strikes resulted in at least 8 fatalities. A significant strike on an apartment block in Poltava killed 7 people, including 3 children, and injured 14 others. Another casualty was reported in the Kharkiv region due to debris from a downed drone. Joseph Eckerson reports.
Russian forces continue their campaign in eastern Ukraine, aiming to capture key strongholds in Donetsk. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky emphasized the need for greater defensive support following these attacks.
In Gaza, a ceasefire facilitated the exchange of Israeli hostages for Palestinian prisoners. Hamas released 3 Israeli hostages, while Israel freed 183 Palestinian prisoners. These exchanges mark progress since the ceasefire began on January 19th. Benjamin Wright with the latest.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is set to meet U.S. President Donald Trump to discuss the ceasefire's second phase. This phase involves the release of remaining hostages and an indefinite truce extension. The truce has allowed aid to reach Gaza, with the Rafah border crossing reopening to facilitate medical care.
This is the latest news headlines.
No, it's not.
Recovery crews have returned to the Potomac River following a mid-air collision between an American Airlines passenger plane and a U.S. Army helicopter. The crash resulted in the deaths of 67 people, including all passengers and crew on both aircraft. The incident caused extensive debris over a wide area, complicating recovery efforts.
The National Transportation Safety Board is investigating the actions of the military pilot and air traffic controllers. They are also examining other potential factors, such as the helicopter's altitude and the use of night vision goggles by the crew. A preliminary report is expected in 30 days. Kevin Sanders reporting.
A federal judge in Alabama has denied a request to halt Demetrius Frazier's scheduled execution by nitrogen gas. Chief District Judge Emily C. Marks ruled that Frazier failed to demonstrate that the method is unconstitutionally cruel or causes significant psychological distress. Frazier's lawyers argued that previous executions using this method caused visible distress, but the judge found insufficient evidence of extraordinary pain or psychological trauma. In Philadelphia, an air ambulance crash resulted in 7 deaths and 19 injuries. The Learjet 55, registered in Mexico, crashed shortly after taking off from Northeast Philadelphia Airport. All 6 people on board, including a child patient and her mother, were killed, along with 1 person on the ground.
So, if I have this correct, Palestinians take hostages and Israelis take prisoners.
Sounds like it.
It's a little one-sided news there. I know I'll be accused of being anti-Semitic here for saying this, but it seems a little double standard there. If one side takes them their hostages, if the other side takes them their prisoners.
Well, I could be totally wrong about this, but unless I'm mistaken, the people that the Israelis took are in prison, so that's why they're prisoners. They weren't just snatched up and brought in; they were like in the country, and they supposedly committed crimes.
Palestinians, they're holding people in the basement with like ball gags.
Right.
That's what makes them hostages.
But this just in from the Congo.
Ladies and gentlemen, GD Esteban and Miami Sound Machine. Now they try to rhyme Congo with longer. I know you can't control yourself any longer. That's supposed to rhyme with conga. That's bad. Why'd you remind me of that song? I reminded you of that song. Hey, come on, baby, do the Congo. Anyway, you would think the Congo thing would have been resolved back when Warren Zevon was singing about it 35 years ago, 40 years ago. 45.
Are you kidding? Peter Gabriel was singing about South Africa, and it took forever for that to get remedied.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Trump is talking about how South Africa is grabbing land. They're doing a land grab. As he wants to take Canada, Mexico, Panama. Hello.
Yes, well, of course, South Africa is a land grab. South Africa is a land grab. That belonged to what, the Zulu and South. Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, the United States of America was a land grab. I just think. Want me to play Broken Borders again? No, you don't.
No, but we would like if you dressed up like the Indian and played and sang YMCA.
See, well, Indians don't have mustaches. There's no such thing as an Indian with a mustache. You know that? They don't have facial hair. I don't know. That's just weird that you can't grow facial hair. What are you, like Irish or something? I don't know. Sorry, Stephen. I didn't mean that.
These movies look hilarious. From Mad Drago.
How many movies are on there? You got a significant number of them?
No, it's not. It's not significant, but they just look funny.
It's probably more movies than I've been in, right? 3.
Oh yeah, for sure. But
I mean, I've been cut out of 3 movies, but
Ridley Scott's Prophets of Science Fiction, right? No, that's a. I don't know. Ridley Scott is a name, right? Isn't that a name of a series?
Wasn't he involved in the Alien movies, Ridley Scott? Or am I thinking of someone else?
Probably. It's science fiction. It's right. I would think that falls under. Steven knows. He's our Beyond
Classified.
Beyonce.
Don't you put me in the? Don't you put me in her league? That's devil. That's the devil.
What was their first big hit? What?
Whose?
Beyonce. See, there was something sexual in there.
Wasn't she in Destiny's
all the
Child?
girls, all the girls, all the single ladies? Was that her? I don't know if that was her because she was with was it In Vogue? She was with before. Or Destiny's Child. She was Destiny's Child before.
Right.
So I don't know when her.
She did like a Diana Ross thing and just told those girls to go kill yourselves. I'm the star here, right?
I think one of them did die.
Yeah, that's what happens. They always tell you, go off yourself. I'm gonna be a star. We don't need you. You're just a backup singer. I'm the one with the booty for the schmooty or something, right? I'm wrong again. Nobody's paying attention to me. Hello, am I here?
Yeah, we're paying attention.
No,
yeah,
I'm not. I
sure.
had a stroke, another mini stroke there.
Inside me.
Listen, I don't want to hear about you jerking off, man. You keep talking about stroking all morning.
Rise up, stroke down.
No, rise up, stroke down. I got to do the math on that. Wait, what is it? Oh, let me just tell you something about G.D. Fenderson. What a dick. He mails me a SD card taped to a business card, and it was taped on there so hard that it took me 40 minutes to get I couldn't even find where the tape started, and I didn't want to ruin the disc because if you do it the wrong way, it's just going to rip data out of the disc and then it's going to be corrupted. And it's just like, yeah, I'm going to fucking kill this motherfucker. Why would you do that to an old person who's just on the edge of that's probably why I had a stroke, a mini stroke. I'm not going to call it a stroke.
Well, I would like to say that in my defense, since I was mailing such a small thing, the SD card, in an envelope, I did not want you to open the envelope, and something fall out, and then you had to look for it on the fucking floor.
Right.
So I taped it to the back of the business card. And the thing is, and I don't know if I said that the SD card was taped to the business card or not. That I do not know. And that would have been helpful information. And perhaps I should have made the tape long enough that it hung over the edge of the card.
Yeah.
You know, but
Anywhere
I thought
where
that
there
you
was
was
a visible end to where the tape started, because you couldn't fucking see it at all.
Yeah, because I did use invisible tape, because that's the only kind of tape I have.
And it was on there so strong, you would think that it was meant to go to Mars or something. Or like it would hold. It would hold.
It was going through an unsafe neighborhood. So
yeah,
you know how many unsafe neighborhoods there are between us and Long Island. There's quite a few.
Quite a few.
I wanted the SD card to feel safe and secure.
All right. So now I got the thing off the tape, and it's been read, and now I got to send it back to you. I'm going to I have a pigeon. I'm going to tape it to its foot. And why are you laughing? You think I'm kidding? He thinks I'm kidding.
The funny thing is, I wouldn't have to worry about that, because once the pigeon got to hear the cats would tear that motherfucker up, and the only thing they wouldn't eat would be the SD card. I'd be like, okay, thank you guys for not eating the SD card. So I had to go sifting through the litter for it.
So do you think Matt Drago's going to show up, or is he, what would Jesus do? Would Jesus show up?
I think the J-Man would. I think the J-Man would. He'd be like, you know what? I got nothing underneath this robe. How about some hand? How about some sucky? I got these terrible club feet. I can't get around easy.
The sandals hurt my bunions.
Just a quick plug. Ron will be playing the Giggle Snatch in Hell. I'm sorry. It's just a terrible Jesus joke there you made, and a lot of people are offended by that. Can you do the same joke in Mohammedese? Let's we got to be a equal opportunity offender. Come on, do the same.
I don't. They're all kind of the same to me, except the subdivisions kind of change up their main character.
All right, be that way. Why do I have Beyonce open here? Oh, because I was looking to see if she was in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Yeah. We got anything to kill a few minutes while we wait to see Mike Drago not show up like Jesus would show up?
Can someone explain to me why people like post on their Facebook and shit, like when they have a grandparent dying or like a parent dying? They're like, oh, it's a tough day today, and then they show these people on the. Like, who wants to be posted in a hospital bed? Like, you're looking your greatest.
Dude, no, hold on. Listen. When it comes to social media, motherfuckers out there, god damn it, okay? Don't stop posting dying people. Stop posting dead people. Stop with the. I don't want to.
They still could do that.
I want to be alone today and no one talk to me. They don't fucking post it on social media. Hey, I don't.
I've never seen that one.
Prayers.
I've never
I don't want to
seen
talk
somebody
about it, dude.
I've never seen that one though, Steven. Come on, if you've actually seen that one, somebody post that.
Listen, if the person wasn't somebody I knew in real life, I would share it right now. But dude, man, all the time I see it, I just want to be alone today. Then fucking go away. Shut up.
Right.
Or this one. They'll ask Facebook a question they could fucking Google. Anyone know of a good place that cuts hair around here? I don't know. Fucking throw it in your Google machine, retard. God damn.
Wow.
Fuck, man. It pisses me off. It's social media, not social be a retard.
Wow. A few years ago, one of my cousins died, and it was one of those cousins that he grew up, and all we knew him by was his nickname. We had no idea what his real name was because we always called him by his nickname. Most of my cousins are like that. Most of our cousins, they all have nicknames. And you don't find out their real names until they die or something. And so my niece was out of town. She lived out of state at the time. And we didn't know which cousin that was. You know, we saw the real name being posted, but he didn't post a nickname. And we're like, we don't know which cousin that is. So I went to the funeral home and I took a picture of the body and sent it to my niece. And she goes, oh, yeah, that's so-and-so. Oh, but that's what I thought, but I couldn't tell because he doesn't look the same, you know, with the whole face and everything. And they came in, they thought I was taking a selfie with him. And I said, no, that would be sick. I'm just trying to show my niece which cousin it is because we don't know which one it is.
You know what else really creeps me out and gross? I had to block somebody for this. And I felt really bad for him, right? They ended up giving birth early, right? And had a service for the baby. Home? Yeah, they had not at the funeral home, but they had a service at the funeral home, right? And this baby was barely developed. Like it was just, it was like 3 months earlier, 4 months earlier, something like that. And she just posted a tons of pictures of this dead baby all over her Facebook. And it was like every day for like 3-4 weeks. And I finally had to block her. I'm just like, come on, man.
Out of curiosity, you said she was posting pictures every day. So was she had the dead baby around that long? Or these are just like...
They were pictures.
She took like 100 pictures.
Pictures from when she held the baby at the hospital and then pictures from the service. And I was just like, man, I don't want to see this on Facebook every day. This is sad. Stop it.
I don't want to see it on Facebook any day. Not every day.
Never.
Any day. Right.
The worst is when you post a picture of them in the hospital bed, they're right next to them, say there's an open grave and say we're moving them there on Tuesday.
That's some good editing right there.
Now that we've offended everybody on every little aspect of everything in society, we can introduce our next guest. How about that? Are you guys ready to talk to a movie star, television star, an actor, a thespian?
Bricked up, ready to go.
Actor, right? Yeah, thespian's an actor. I have that right, right? I'm using that word.
Yeah, thespian, not lesbian.
First time ever. Let me do this. And Ron, stop stealing my spot. Matt Drago is an actor or a thespian living in Los Angeles, best known for his role as Fabian in Somewhere in Montana. He has appeared in a variety of other projects, including Disney's Counting Scars viral video, What Would Jesus Do? And The Journey Continues, Ridley Scott's Prophets of Science Fiction. He's here now, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in from Los Angeles, California, and not burning up, the fabulous Matt Drago. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, guys. Mine Dog, it's so great to be on your show with everybody here. And wow, that was a great introduction. So really looking forward to having a great conversation.
Is it Drago or Drago? Is it Drago or Drago?
I'm the Sicilian version. So it's Drago for me, but Drago is Rocky IV, obviously happens to be one of my favorite movies. So Russian is Drago, Italian is Drago.
Right.
Which one is Drago? Because that sounds like one of the Marx brothers that got dressed up on the weeknights. Like, and this is how
that's Drago
Marx.
That's Drago.
Yeah, that's what I said. Drago Marx. That's what I know. Which one is Drago Marx?
All right.
Like, I'm going to be wearing a dress today.
Everything's a Marx Brothers movie with GD. So Matt, now you're from Virginia originally, right?
Originally from Virginia, but both of my mom and dad are actually from New York City. And so when I moved back to New York City for college, it felt like I was moving home.
Okay. Now, was there no acting opportunities in New York, or was it? Because I think the lure of Hollywood is kind of there's way too much competition. Everybody has stars in their eyes. I would think it would be easier to make it as an actor in places like New York or any place else other than LA. Were there no film opportunities here in New York?
That's a great question. It's different. New York is more theater centric. And I mean, for me, I actually had a harder time breaking into the things that I was right for as an actor in New York City, because I'm kind of more of a leading man in terms of how I'm viewed, how I'm seen. I'm also not a triple threat. I'm not a dancer like some of my colleagues. So I mean, like being able to dance on stage 8 days a week was never my thing. I was more the center stage ballad actor kind of guy. So for me, I kind of had a harder time breaking in because a lot of the people that were booking the lead characters in a lot of the Broadway productions had TV and film credits. And so I actually studied for quite a few years with Terry Schreiber in Chelsea, and he became like a grandfather to me. He was Edward Norton's coach. And he honestly, he was the one, even in his class in New York City, that told me that maybe I should give LA a shot, just because he felt like as an actor, it might have been a better fit for me in terms of my skill set. So it really came down to that. And I mean, I think that's somehow the way the path goes. It's not better or worse. It's not New York or LA or Chicago. It's where you feel like you land now as an artist and where you feel like you can thrive.
Interesting. Now, you are not affected? I guess I'm assuming you were not affected by the fires out there, but the industry you work in was greatly affected, right? So, are there opportunities now? Have production been shut down, and are you unemployed at this moment because of fires? Is the question.
Well, not just because of the fires, but there actually was really two actually very close by to me, and my wife and I with the dog did pre-evacuate one night. So we had the Hearst fire down in Silmar, that was right on the other side of the hill from us, and then we had the Hughes fire up in Castaic. And again, a lot of people don't realize it that are East Coast, because I'm East Coast, how these fires are, and a lot of it is to do with the winds and the embers, because again, you have to not think of it as like campfires that are just like, existing. They're like fire nados, like they're violent fires, and they can come anywhere at any time. And so there's that part of it. There's the second part of it, which is all the shit that you're breathing in that's burning, right? Which is a whole other issue. And then the third issue is you don't want to be the last to evacuate, because hello, that's a nightmare in and of itself. So it's sort of three things. So like whenever
actually, you forgot the fourth thing.
What's the fourth
thing? With all the water, there's going to be mudslides.
Mudslides, yeah. I would say for mudslides in the 80s, yeah, early 80s, there were mudslides all over the place. That's horrific in itself. Seeing houses just fall off of cliffs, where the cliff just melts and the house just goes down to 101 or whatever.
And the fifth thing is that you've waited like 5 or 6 months for an audition. You finally get the audition, and the damn building burns down. It was like, oh shit, my luck. I'll never get another audition in that building again.
So the question is the industry going to be like backlogged now? Like this work is shut down, or is that just like I'm just assuming too much there?
The reality is, Mind Dog, it's already been kind of backlogged. We had 3 strikes last year with the directors, then the writers, then the actors. So, because of that, we were already backlogged. The industry's changed significantly since COVID. A lot of auditions are virtual anyway, which I got to be honest, in many ways, I don't mind, because again, if you're a casting director and you only have like 20 slots during the day, because like I'm going to come into the room, I'm going to talk about your family, I'm going to see how things are. A lot of these, a lot of things in life are relationships, right? But, it casts a wider net when all of a sudden there's 50 video files in front of you. And maybe you can be like, oh, I know Matt. I've met Matt, But, he really brought it for this audition, but maybe he's not quite right for this part. But I'm going to put him in this file because I've got something coming up that he might be right for. So it really does cast a wider net. It also means that you don't have to go down to Santa Monica and try to find a fucking parking spot. So, there's good things about it that do exist with the virtual way that it's gone. But yeah, things are picking back up. A lot of actors and a lot of artists are, saying stay alive until 2025. And then of course, we had the fires start 2025. So we don't really know, to be perfectly honest. I think a lot of productions are going to go where they need to go right now, but LA is really trying to stay strong and build back up the film industry, because this is where it's born, this is where it's lived. And I got to be honest, as an East Coaster, I never realized how strong LA people are. Like, LA strong is a real thing. Dreamers are fighters. Like, don't sleep on dreamers. There are a lot of really, really cool, hard people out here that will, again, do anything that they need to sacrifice for their dreams. So I honestly have learned to really, really love this city in many ways. And I didn't even realize it until I moved out here from New York.
It's almost like
I have a question about virtual auditions.
Yeah,
because it seems as though part of the idea of an in-person audition is the chemistry. Especially, you get to see, or not just the body language, the whole presentation, but also how they might interact with other characters. The other people, because you want good chemistry. I think like the first Star Trek movie, the problem wasn't that they couldn't get the principals back, is that they hadn't seen each other in so long. They had really bad chemistry. So
that's a great question, GD. Yeah, no, I think the way that a lot of things work now it really just depends. It really depends on what the production is and what they're asking for. There are some productions, like Somewhere in Montana, the film that I've got coming out now, where I sent in an audition tape. a couple weeks later, I got a producer session. It was really just the director, the writer of the project, Brandon Smith, and Eden Matson, the producer, and Jared Brocksterman, the casting director. And we really just sat down and talked about the role. That was a big part for me. I'd already read the script 3 times. And I think for them, they wanted to find somebody who really felt embodied the character. And they weren't so much concerned with necessarily the chemistry in that project and film, where, to your point, in TV and film, a lot of times they do want you to meet maybe the lead actor that's been the lead on that show for 10 years or 15 years if it's like an NCIS or something like that, to make sure that there is that mesh. So maybe you do come down for a chemistry read for that, but it really comes down to the production. I mean, some people are very into chemistry reads because, again, it's going to be like, a big part of how they view the production, is that chemistry really, really matters. But other times it's, is that actor like perfect for this role? And then you get on set with people like Graham McTavish and Michelle Hurd and Kate Orsini and all of these people that I got to play with in this film. And it just works itself out because everybody just brings it. I think Scorsese says it best, is that, and he does it in such a nonchalant way. And it's one of the reasons why he's one of my favorite directors of all time. He says sometimes you just cast the right director, or cast the right actor for the job. And he's literally one of the best actor directors of all time in terms of how he coaches people and how he does minor adjustments within, things on set. But still, he still gives the credit to the actor, because a lot of I say this all the time, actors should do their work in pre-production. Crews are what make films great in production and TV great, because they're doing all the heavy lifting. They're gaffing the lights, they're getting the sound just right. And again, sometimes they're up against the elements if it's on location. So it really is this like team collaborative sport, and the actors are the ones that should absolutely be on point. So that way, when time is wasting, you are doing honor to everybody that's working their ass off to make sure that you're getting your shot and serving the project and serving the writer, director, and producer the best you can.
But then it's up to make sure that the script is ready to go then, because you can have actors know all their lines. They get on set and they go like, something? We decided that this is not a funeral. This is going to be a wedding. It would work better if it were a wedding.
Really?
So
yeah, I've never. I wouldn't know that. I guess when you see the final result, what it was supposed to be, but I don't think that's a common thing.
That sounds like
depends on the directors. It really depends on the director. Some directors really do have a gutsy thing, like they'll see something and get inspired to do something else. Now, of course, I've been in hundreds of non-movies. So I've never been in a movie.
I was going to say, that sounds a little bit more like an improv show, not a film. I mean, film writers and directors and TV, like they work sometimes years on these scripts, GD. And
that's true.
And there are some directors and writers that are like, you got to be word perfect. Like, these are my words. This is how I want it to be done. There are some writer and directors like Brandon, where we would get on Zooms just like this, and we would work the scenes over and over again. And I realized that we were building the character ourselves, because he wrote himself into a lot of Somewhere in Montana, because he is a director. So everything, every project, every film is different. Every collaborative process is different. Sometimes when you book TV, I mean, I say that guest stars are sometimes some of the hardest roles to book, because it's like you are serving that story for one day, and there's like this major arc, and you just got to come in and nail it. So it's like you might not have the time to build the character. But each different project has its own little set of challenges, and that's what makes it fun.
Yeah. Do you ever get to the point where, and I'm sure some people have reached this point, where they don't really have to audition? They get cast we know who that person is, and the casting director knows them. They're right for the movie. We don't need to have them come in and read. Is that a common thing, or is that just a rare exception where you have an A-star who the casting director knows is right for the movie or television show without having to have them do any read for it?
I think it is common for the people that have proven it, right? It's like, well, I mean,
Yeah, you wouldn't want like I don't know. You could pick a name, but a super because they might be insulted. Well, you want me to read for something? I mean, my body of work for 40 years or something.
Well, yeah, I got one for you. I mean, it's like when Tom Brady went to the Bucks. You think that they said, all right, well, prove it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
We're gonna
there
make
was
you the
some
backup quarterback for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we're gonna see how you take reps in the pocket and like, can you make that pass in the slot? And can you elude coverage? Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like at a certain point, you've earned it, and I think
Are we still
that
talking
there
about
are.
football?
Oh, dude,
No.
we can talk about whatever you guys want. I can tell that like these are my
I just heard
people right
pockets
here.
and
Like,
slots, and I got excited. So
yeah, right.
I want to talk
Sorry.
about because Ron
We
brought
can
up.
take that route if you want, sitcom.
Ron, who was the person at the Grammys last night that made the about the comment about the living wage?
Yeah, Chapel Ronan.
Okay,
Chapel
so
Ronan,
the idea was that artists need to be paid a living wage, and we were talking about the difference between comedy and music and the struggles. Now, most artists, most actors, I would think, are like comedians. They're gonna work. You call me and I'll be there. We'll talk about the money later. Obviously, went on strike for I don't know if we call it a living wage. How long does it take to get to the point where you can support yourself from your art, not have to wait tables and all that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it really depends, and it's really based on your level of, just kind of want and need in terms of money. Because again, it's job to job, right? And so that's what makes it difficult. There are the, day players, right, where they're the guest stars, and you might make, depending on your rate, $6,000, $10,000, something like that. But again, that's one day of work, and streaming has clouded a lot of things. This is what I tell people all the time that aren't in the industry, and I think Snoop Dogg says it best, because he says it best in many ways. It's like, how the fuck do I get 1 billion streams but I don't make $1 million? It's like these people are basically blurring the metadata so that they don't have to pay actors the way that they used to be paid. Because again, the people that are on Friends, I mean, they're still making 5 figures a day because they were in a great sitcom, right? And so the days of Seinfeld and Friends and those shows where they're making that kind of money, like, it's kind of stopped because of the way that the streaming platforms have kind of grayed the lines. Because again, you put your stamp on a production, you do all your work, but then it gets watched over and over and over and over and over again, and it's still your work. And you have to remember that. So it's like, if it's still your work, then you should still get compensated for it, even though you've already done it, because it's still your work. It's still making the executives and the networks money because of the work that you did on that day, right? And so it's become an open world concept a little bit more. I mean, film is usually you get paid for that month or month and a half, like I was on Somewhere in Montana. And sometimes you get to the point in your career where you get back end points, and back end points essentially mean where you are a producer, right? And some actors are hands-on producers. I feel like for my next journey, I have my own production company. Like, I want to be the actor, because I've realized in my life, I love acting, but I also love collaborating. So I really want to be a hands-on producer in the ways that, like, I come from sales. I've worked in real estate. I started at the Corcoran Group in New York City. And so I have that kind of salesmanship in terms of putting things together. But
see, that's a better day gig than waiting tables. It's selling real estate, because you can actually have a little nest egg to fall back on when you're selling real estate, as opposed to waiting tables where you're basically day to day, week to week, that kind of stuff, financially unstable. It makes a big difference to be able to feel financially stable while you pursue your dream. So all that's valid stuff. Thank you for sharing it.
What I got a question. What do you think about like I think it was like 2 years ago that Dave Chappelle, the Chappelle showed up on some streaming service, and Chappelle wasn't getting paid or didn't have a piece
Oh yeah,
of
it was
that.
Netflix, right? Netflix was taking advantage of him, running the old Chappelle shows, and he didn't get anything from it, right?
Yeah, and he got a hold of the CEO, and he's like, "You need to make this right." And that guy bent it quickly and gave him what he wanted. Does that do you find that like good, or is that frustrating for you as an actor at your level?
It has to happen because it's their work. It's something that they've put a lot of energy into. And you have to remember on the other side that those executives and those platforms are making money off of the artist's content. So, I mean, it would be no different than, saying, hey, Tyreek Hill, get out there. And, if you're good and you catch a touchdown today, we'll pay you. Like, that's not how it should work in any field, right? It's like, we show up to work to get paid. Well, a lot of times, it's harder to make people understand because maybe we showed up a year or 2 or 3 or 5 ago, like the Chappelle show, but like that's something that we put a lot of time and effort and money into. Even like, I mean, I know that like that was a big break for him. That's something that he sacrificed for. It would be like if Rocky was streaming on TBS today and Sylvester Stallone didn't get a cut of that. Well, we know how hard it was for him to even make that film. He had to fight.
We know how hard it was for him to even talk.
But even to get cast as his own lead character in his film, right? So these are just things that, like, again, it's harder to quantify, but like your work as an actor is done on the day, and many times, if you're lucky, it lives on forever, and so you have to honor that by fighting for getting compensated for that fairly, because if you don't, then it's much like the owners, it's much like the executives in to make that crossover in sports. It's like they'll take advantage of you. They'll take what you've done, they'll put it up on their platform, they'll make a lot of money on it, and they'll be like, oh, well, yeah, I mean, we were gonna pay you. No, you gotta pay.
We wanted to pay you, but,
right?
Well, I know one of the things I noticed there was some footage of Steve Martin at the AFIs when they were honoring Tom Hanks, and they showed like a good 5-10 minute clip of it. And the way they got away with it on TikTok was they reversed the image, so it's not the exact image. They're not so that that way it's not. It's you've altered the content enough, and also they changed it from like 9:16 to 16:9 or something like that, or what is no.
Yeah,
it changed it from 16:9 to 9:16, so it's like this way.
That's wild. It doesn't seem to me like you're changing it. What a fair use. Generally, you have to improve it in some way, change the value of it, add value to it. Just flipping the image around seems like in a court of law that would probably be a tough sell to a judge. I don't know. What do I know?
It's getting more complex and more sophisticated, but you got to remember that like this is how actors make, that this is how they have their ability to live their lives, right? This is like literally how they make their money. And so I just think that, when you're looking at it right now, there are so many challenges with AI. I'm a New Yorker. I got on a lot of the Zooms, and I think that there was one thing that happened that was a real miss, because I work in contracts and real estate. So I'm one of those, well-equipped actors that knows that what we got in terms of AI was not good. The writers got a statement in their contract that said AI can't be a writer. It's clear as day. You can't have AI.
What about the voice though? Because like these apps that you have that can get actors to say anything you want in their voice, they don't get paid for that either. Like, so Ron could pull up a thing of Morgan Freeman saying he wants to suck my dick, which he has done, I think, in the past. Maybe
Morgan Freeman sucked your dick, or
no? Ron has sucked my dick. No, Ron. Never mind. But I think
that's what you guys did behind governors when I couldn't get back there. I knew it.
All right. But the point is they have no control over that, or do they have control over their voice and image being used in apps like that?
They're working on it. It's so new. Michelle Hurd is a really good friend of mine. She's somewhere in Montana, and she's on the front lines. And there are even parts of it that honestly I don't understand, because there's a lot of new moving parts with this technology, and it's moving really fast, not just in art, but in the world. And so it's hard to catch up sometimes in terms of what the new challenges are and become, because you don't even know them until they hit you in the face. I know that some, artists are being compensated. I know that others aren't, right? And, the one thing that I'll go back to the point that we were talking about before is that, the acting union in the contract said that actors could consent to whether they wanted to be in AI or something, which essentially means that, you guys, I'm going to put you in a booth, I'm going to scan you, I'm going to take your voice away from you, and then I'm going to put you in a computer program, and you don't have to do shit, and then you just get a rate. Well, I think there's something that's missed in that. And here's the point that I'll make with it. I've always wanted to act for acting. Like, I love the process of acting. I love the process of being around the crew. And I don't want that to be taken away from me. Because again, if you take that away from me, maybe I'm looking at a computer generated whatever of me. And I'm going to like, no, that's not how I would have done it. That's not me. And also years from now, we don't want like kids to be like, hey, mom, dad, here's this really weird movie. There's people in it. Because you need to see real tears. You need to see real pain. You need to see real emotion. I think that there will be something lost in society if you don't see real people having real emotions. If you give up art to a machine, you will lose a lot in the society. I'm telling you. Like,
what you just described, though, that's not too different than the process of doing voiceover work for an animated movie. You're providing your voice. They're not using your image. They may base
you, though.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's your voice, so it wouldn't be much different if they used your. I'm just saying it. I'm trying to think of it like I'm pro AI. I'm not pro AI.
Okay.
Anybody who
He
knows
hates
knows.
AI or every aspect of it.
I hate just about every aspect of it. Yes. Even if there's a good part of it, I hate it on some principle.
Yeah, me too. You're in a booth still, and so you are like, I mean, for your point on like a Pixar movie or something like that, I mean, you still are looking at the animation, you're still building the character, you're still having those real moments. Like, you're
I've seen demonstrations where people were doing that. I think it was Gilbert Gottfried, but the character actually same facial expressions and everything. They were using his body movements in the animation, so it's really close to it is real acting.
I dabbled in voice acting a little bit, and I had
we all know what you dabbled
in. And when you listen to AI do any voiceover work, it's horrible, right? There's no emotion, it doesn't pronounce things right, there's no pacing. It's just horrible. And like you said, even in a Pixar movie, you can still feel the emotion. And even like in the Wolverine movies, Hugh Jackman does a lot of those grunts and the emotion. He does that in a studio post-production. So I mean, there's still so much of the person that goes into that. So
100%.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Somewhere in Montana, because in the trailer, and after we're finished with this segment, I will play the trailer for people and probably get a copyright strike, but that's fine. For a layman like me, I can't tell. I think the perception I have is that it was all shot in location. There was virtually very little done on a soundstage. Is that accurate, or is that
nothing on a soundstage?
Nothing on a soundstage. All done on location.
Yep.
Interesting. Now, did you have to go to actually Montana, or is it like some part of California?
Hey, I didn't have to go to Montana. I got to go to Montana. Montana is beautiful. It is an absolutely gorgeous place. And I mean, I got to be honest, Mind Dog, as an artist, like, it is a place where like you can go and just be free. I can't like think of the last time living in two big cities where I've like gotten up and just stared at a beautiful body of water for a half an hour before I even went to set. And it just clears your mind. And I feel like we all need that right now, right? We're in such a like fast-paced world. We're being thrown like to GD, like I mean AI, it's just like it's too much sometimes. So like this was an incredible film set in the fact that the cast and the crew became tight right away. We would go eat our meals together at the lodge. Graham and I would get our bison steaks. We would go on hikes together. We would get our breakfast together. We really honestly couldn't get enough of each other. And it really just became like this kumbaya trip because we knew that the story was bigger than all of us. So
that sounds lovely. That sounds lovely. See, if we weren't so anti-kumbaya, see, when we got together, we went to a back-of-some dive bar
that's the
and
first
had
time kumbaya has been used.
I've had those kumbaya nights too, though. I like those kumbaya nights. Like on the Upper West Side, I used to bar hop from 79th and Amsterdam all the way up to like 96th Street.
Wow.
Well, to be fair, my pre-show routine's a little different than yours too. Mine is death metal and heroin. So but hey, do each his own, right?
Absolutely.
How long were you up there for the shoot?
Yeah, so I was up there the longest amount of time. I was there for 6 weeks, and that's because I play a West Coast director in the film, and so I wanted to shadow the director, Brandon Smith, and so I got to be on his set and just kind of understand how he runs a set. Because again, he wrote a lot of himself into Fabian Verdugo, so it gave me the opportunity. I also was the only person that drove up to set, and that was a little bit of method acting because I really wanted to feel the character's journey out of the big city. I went from LA to Vegas. I actually got to see Mad Apple the night that it premiered, which was pretty cool. And it's a love letter to New York if you haven't seen it. And so like I'm crying when they're playing, New York State of Mind and like just walking the red carpet. And then right from there, I had my little Vegas day. I went to Zion. And then I started to hike. I started to hike the Crystal Lakes up until it like got 9:30, 10 o'clock at night and it got dark. And I just, again, just looked at the mountains. And I think a lot of what I felt like the character was, because I'm the only outsider really in this world, along with Michelle Hurd, we're the two LA people coming into the Montana ranchers world of Graham McTavish playing John Alexander, is that we are the ones that like maybe have that quicker tempo and we need to kind of assimilate, because again, this is a story about coming together, and it's about trying to find what I consider in my life the most high form of love, of mutual respect, right? And so it really is a powerful story of the times. It goes there politically, socially, culturally. It really goes into those tough conversations. But I think that Graham and I specifically, we have a 10-page scene that's just the two of us. And we spent so much time together off screen as Matt and Graham, as two actors, really just trying to make sure that we weren't making this too precious. It was a conversation like I'm having with you guys right now, like a really like man-to-man conversation. We're two different people. We won't agree on everything. We never will, but that we can come to some mutual understanding. And I think that's a really important story to tell right now.
Now, how many animals used on set were trained, professionals, and how many were just, animals like they were like cows or whatever, just there?
Yeah, it was an active cattle ranch. I mean, it's the real deal. I mean,
yeah, but there were no stunt. There was like some animals are trained to do certain things. So, like, if you needed one to fall down on command,
I just want to say in the trailer, and I obviously this horse would be. It looks like the horse that was in The Godfather, the dead horse. Also got a role in this movie or something. It looks like the very same horse. Obviously, a horse can't live that long. That was 55 years ago or something. But yeah, a lot
legacy,
of
nepotism.
Oh,
it was a grand horse.
Flicker.
Yeah. Can I just say I love you guys? I've just met you and like you're cracking me up. That's it was a cow, first of all.
Oh, it was a cow. I thought it was.
The cow had range. The cow played a horse in the movie.
That's right. The cow has played a horse in a different movie. Yeah, it's a very multi-species actor that we've got, and he's up and coming. Like look out for 23. He's really good. No, he I don't know. I'm talking as the cow as an actor now. No, it was the real deal. I mean, it was an active cattle ranch, and I mean, the irony of this is that the people that actually owned the real ranch that we shot on, they were unsure whether they wanted a film crew there. They really are. This film really dives deep into legacy, and I think that we need to honor each other's legacy. And I think that's something that we miss right now in our country, and why we feel this dissonance is that, we think that maybe one legacy is better than another. It's not. I'm a filmmaker in the movie. Films are my legacy. His ranch is his legacy, and it's a beautiful legacy. And so we start to let each other in, and it does. It plays to the American dream. But to answer your question, I mean, what you see is real in that film. There's no punches pulled. It's an active cattle ranch, and I got to learn a lot by being there. You know, I got to take a lot of that in, and I think it was a shot that is a you know, off-screen shot, and it's a moment that I posted about it on my Instagram, and it's just a shot of Brandon, the director, me playing the director, Dave, who actually owns the real active cattle ranch, and Graham, who plays the rancher, right? So it's the four of us just standing there. And it's that moment, because I've always eaten meat, where I realized that, you know, these people are so vastly different than maybe what I had thought when I moved up there, and started to be in that world, but that we need each other. And we forget that sometimes. Like, regardless of how different we are, there's more that could connect us than could ever divide us. But we have to be able to get through that, like, initial, you know, thing that we do. And a lot of it is because of social media. A lot of it is because of not getting to actually let the person in. But I swear to God, once you start to let people in, you start to, like, not cancel them out for one thing that you thought you would, you know, over a social media post or one line that they said. You start to let them in a little bit more. So it dives deep into just really trying to get past that barrier. That way we can hopefully find a path forward, because I think we need that right now, and we need more films like it to show that there is a way to do that.
Now, were there moments that had to be cut out because the cow, you're just shooting scenes with the cows and they were being too cowy? For, you know, in other words, like, we can't show them that. We know where calves come from, but we can't show that bull and that cow making a calf. You know what I'm saying? Or you know, like, you're talking and all of a sudden the cow walks behind you, camera, and just takes a dump, and he's like, okay, that ruins the mood. It's funny, but it ruins the mood. Reshoot. You know, since it was an active cattle ranch.
Yeah, Brandon didn't want any of that. He wanted, like, he really, along with AJ Young, our DP, they, like, did long shots. If life happened that was meant to happen, it was in the film. Like, there's not, like, it's very authentic. It's very organic. He really wanted you to feel like you were on that ranch, and that you could feel that type of job that they did. Because again, I couldn't do that job. Well, I eat steak. I don't know about you guys, but, like, I couldn't do what they do on that
Well, I
ranch.
was just about to say, because I'm embarrassed that I can't tell a cow from a horse, because I did work a real cattle ranch in college with many, like 100 years ago. But the people I worked for, they would really be embarrassed by me not knowing the difference between a cow and a horse. To be fair, the bit in the trailer is very quick, and you just see a little bit of it. So.
And he is blind. He is legally blind.
That's true.
And you look good for being over 100 years old. I have to be honest.
Thank you.
Whatever you're doing, if you could just
it's the camera, it's AI.
It's AI.
Well, but
see him in
also,
person.
My dog is a hologram, right?
I did have a stroke within the last 12 hours, though, so that's fair.
That takes 10 years off. It does take 10 years off. It makes you youthful.
Yeah.
Makes you
now, pardon me for not knowing this, but I'm really unhip when it comes to. Is the movie out yet, or is just the trailer's been released and the movie coming out soon? Because
it's a limited theater release. Brandon really wanted it to be a conversation piece, and again, a lot of movies don't even make it to theatrical runs anymore, and so we pushed it back from October, which is primarily the award season where the big market movies are coming out, to January, because we felt like we could get it into theaters. So we went to Rocky Mountain NATO, which is a theater conference up in Salt Lake City. And it was the most extraordinary thing for me, because I've never really been the only actor in the room with all of these, you know, theater owners and distributors, and they're hurting right now. Theater distributors, I mean, I met this one girl, it really resonated with me that, you know, it was her grandmother's drive-in movie theater in Idaho. And she was like, I can't let this die, Matt. Like, this is something that, like, is part of, like, my family's legacy. And so, basically what we did is we are doing a limited theatrical release, and then we're hoping for an expansion. And an expansion basically means that you have to remember a lot of these theater owners, they might have like 30 theaters, but maybe they'll test them in smaller markets where they think they can do well. Maybe your Montana, your Idaho, your Utah, right? So it's like they'll center them there, and then hopefully we get an expansion. But like everything now, everything will eventually go to VOD and streaming. But he just wanted to, the producers and the director really wanted to give it a shot to, and I always say it, have those 2-minute conversations like we used to have after the movie theater. I saw Sixth Sense with like my dad in the movie theater at like 1 a.m. at Lincoln Center. And I just remember coming out of that movie, and I just loved so much of that like experience, because like that moment where we find out the big reveal, and like, people in the audience being like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, it was just it's really special to be in a theater together. And so I think, because it's a conversation piece, he really wanted it to be something that was, that had a shot in theaters, and then eventually, will go to VOD and streaming. So look out for it. I'll post all the updates as they come on my social media.
I appreciate that. Now, what you touch on there is very, because I talk about this with the comedy club experience all the time. There is nothing like the atmosphere of being in a dark room next to a stranger who you can actually feel their elbows touching you, and that enhances the comedy club experience. When I was a kid, now I'm talking back right before Lincoln got shot, theaters were packed with people, and that's a different experience than sitting in your home theater, even if you got a big family. I mean, it's different when you have a 300 people all experiencing the same thing and have that moment, that holy shit moment. So do you think, because last few times I've been to movie theaters, big theater, 10 people, it's just not the same. So do you think that experience is gonna die?
I think it's hurting. I think theater owners, and this was a really cool thing about it, like they're trying to find new and unique ways to bring people back. I think that there is a loss of connection in our society right now, a major loss of connection in our society. And I do feel like, I've been to, a few sporting events recently, and they've been packed. So I think there is a yearning for coming back together. We just need to figure out a way to do it in theater. It's easier again for big market productions, to do that, because again, not only do they have the marketing dollars, but they're built for theaters. Wicked is built for theaters. It's a big, massive production. It's a huge, historic IP, intellectual property. So it draws and beckons a lot of people to the theater. Well, we're an indie. And we understand that. And it's really hard for, anybody, myself included, to go to an independent film and pay $20 or $40 if I'm going with my wife, and paying that money to see a movie that maybe I haven't necessarily heard of. So it takes podcast interviews like this and interviews to get the word out there, because indies are the last resistance. If you want to see human stories keep being told by humans, then support indies in whatever way you can. Because I got to be honest, $20 or $15 or $10, whatever your ticket price is in your little neck of the woods, like, it means more to an indie than it does to a big production. So it really does help the next wave of those films coming out. And for this one specifically, it just felt like such a big conversation piece that, again, it's what Brandon Smith told me. We had a premiere a couple nights ago, and people from both sides. I know people from both sides that have seen this film, and I'm talking Republican and Democrat, that have come out of this film and both had the same exact reaction, which is, this is an important film, and that is what we wanted to do with this film. That is the power of Somewhere in Montana.
Interesting.
I have an indie question for you.
Wait 1 second. In Montana, did you experience that same dynamic where there wasn't equal representation among the locals there, or did you not get a chance to really take the temperature of the locals, politically, I mean?
Oh, politically, I think they're vastly different than me as Matt, than my character, but it kind of worked to my advantage because again, it was my opportunity to again get to know them and to let them in. And you know, I'll give you one example. Dave and Sue, the people that own the ranch that I was just talking about, they made Graham and I eggs every day. We were hanging out with their grandkids. Like
Oh, they
it
must be
was it was
rich.
well, no, it's that they let no, it's that they let us in. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they were those types of people. But you know, it was that other thing of right, the fast paced world. It's like you know, social media is part of what I do as an actor and as a realtor. If you told me right now to give up social media and I could just have a working actor career for the rest of my life, I would leave Instagram right now.
Right.
But you know, talking to Dave and Sue. I remember saying this. I said, you know, like leaving, I was like, hey, let's connect. And they gave me their number and I was like, oh, what's your Instagram? And they were like, oh, we don't do any of that. And I was like, God bless you. You know what I mean? Because it's not a lot of people that live in Montana, they are specifically there because they want to live a life that is not dictated by the norms of, you know, a complex society, right? And I grew up in Virginia, so I remember parts of that. And then I
Right.
moved to New York City and LA, two of the most complicated cities in the world. So I feel like it's been a while since I've had those moments of just reflection. And I think just being on set, being with people that I feel like needed this movie just as much as I did. And again, it just became this thing of knowing that we were telling a story that was bigger than all of us and telling it proudly. And then that just created this bond between not only the cast, not only the crew, but the people that were around us at all times. And that includes Dave and Sue from the ranch.
Very cool. TD, I'll give you the last question.
Yeah, it was based about indie films. Like for example, I have a friend of mine who's producing his own show, his own series, television series, and he doesn't know if it's going to get picked up by Netflix or anything like that. But he's shooting it. He has to buy equipment like 12K cameras and stuff like that, just in case Netflix decides to pick it because that's what they want. You know, so are they by chance? But I'm not sure if there's any shows actually being shown in 12K if they're not using like 8K, 4K, or whatever. But are they making it more difficult for indie people by demanding that they have such high quality when they don't? You know what I'm saying? Like, if he's shooting in 12K and he's an independent,
Right.
It's more expensive, even though it's not film, but it's still more expensive and it's a lot more time consuming as far as like rendering. It takes forever for stuff of that speed to just I'm trying to find where the people aren't familiar with film might know other than rendering, but to process it just takes a lot longer. So are they making it harder, and is it something by design, or is it just something that's just a consequence of technology?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think you hit it on the head, GD, is that it's technology, it evolves, right? And it gets better. And so, you know, things become the norm, right? As it progresses. I will say for indie specifically, a lot of the people that are in the cast and crew for this, you know, they call their shots and they, you know, will ask their favors. Like that's kind of what you have to do as an artist sometimes, especially as a producer, as a collaborator. Like, you know, maybe you have that connection with that we've got the Livisays who did the composition of the music on this one. Well, they've ghostwritten a lot of big movies, and Brandon's calling his shot and trying to bring them into this, and getting AJ Young, who's getting like these incredible cameras up to Montana with these really cool lenses. And everybody, again, this is why I love collaborating so much. Everybody's a master of their own craft. I mean, AJ Young found these Soviet Union lenses that were housed in these newer, you know, basically lenses to shoot in that gave it this anamorphic feel, this grainy feel, because he wanted it to feel like old Montana. So there's so many masters of craft, and a lot of times it's just pulling together what you can to answer your question. And sometimes you might not get the 12K camera. Sometimes you might not get that lighting setup. But like, you know, I know like with my wife, like she worked with a couple AFI alums and like they had a connection with a lighting house and they got like, you know, the Joker light, which is like this really, really powerful light that comes overhead and it just gives this really dramatic effect. So a lot of times like in film, as a producer, especially, which is now what I'm getting into within my own production company. Because again, I love acting, but I really love collaborating. It's pulling all the things together and sometimes calling your shot and fighting for something. And it could be fighting for funding. It could be fighting for that camera. It could be fighting for that lighting equipment, and whatever you think it's going to take to make your film the best version of that film that you can make at that time. And then, you do the best with what you have for that one. And then you hope to market it and sell it well enough, and be proud of it to get you to the next one and the next one and the next one.
Very
and that's
cool.
basically the artist journey. Yeah.
MattDrago.com, folks. People on the radio, it's just Matt Drago. It's not hard to spell. If you can't spell it, just go to the website and look it up.
I'll make it easier too. I mean, I can only do so many social media platforms. Instagram at Matt Drago, MattDrago. From there, you've got my link tree. It's got my actor website, mattdrago.com. It's got my production company, dragonhunterproductions.com, because my wife, who's my collaborator, her maiden name is Hunter. So Drago and Hunter makes Dragon Hunter Productions. That kind of worked out.
Cool.
It's also got my IMDb and all my links there. So just give me a follow at Matt Drago, MattDrago, and you'll be in the know for everything that's going on in my life.
So is your logo like two constellations, Osiris and whatever dragon constellations are up there?
It's not. It's just a dragon, but that's a good idea. Maybe I should hire you to do some of my marketing.
Yeah. No, he's terrible at marketing.
I like that.
He's terrible at marketing. So don't do that.
Yeah, I am. Otherwise, I'm really bad. Otherwise, you'd have heard of me as a comedian by now.
I'm going to put some pressure on you here. If you can remember when you get your first Academy Award, if you could just my luck, in your acceptance speech. I would really appreciate that. I appreciate you being here and sharing your knowledge and experience with our audience, and hopefully people the movie will be a great success, and you will get that Academy Award, and then I'll hear my name. Well, I won't, because I don't watch the award shows, but somebody will hear. So
what you do is, as you're walking on stage to accept it, you stop, you wipe your foot, and you look and go, my dog on the stage, and just and walk away.
That's right.
That way, yeah.
I'll say honestly, to tie it up, it's like the dream has always been to be a working actor, to be on the field, just doing what I love. That has been the ultimate dream for me in my life. Awards are fine and great, but it's just getting to do what you love. So at the end of the day, it's just great to share my experience and share my journey with all you guys. It's been a pleasure to talk to you today. Thank you for having me on the show.
Honor to have you here. Thank you for being here, and have a great day, and stay safe out there.
Will do.
Right.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Take care, buddy.
Matt Drago, folks. Let me see here. Now, what happened? We're all discombobulated. Here's a story of a man named GD. That's better, right? That's better.
Yeah.
I want to play the trailer for. Now I'm probably going to get not a copy.
You should have played the trailer while he was here, so he could tell us about the cow.
He's seen the trailer, and besides that, would take away from our time.
You're assuming he saw the trailer. We don't really.
It's on his website.
Doesn't mean he looked at it. You know how many people don't design their own websites?
I don't know. Let's see.
3.
I don't forget. Every moment, every day.
You know what?
God, I miss that woman.
Where are we? Montana. This one location is holding up our entire shoot. Your ranch, it's such a nice fit.
I just don't trust this guy.
I don't trust this guy.
This is a working ranch, Laney. It's not an amusement park.
If we can make this deal work out, then we can survive until next year.
Welcome to my ranch.
Let's get first team in here. First team. Bob tells us they're making a movie out to your place.
Yeah, I guess everybody knows.
Holy cow, farts.
Cut! Mike, call a break. Damn it. Everybody'd like to have your attention. It's time to freak out. Where the hell do you get off interrupting my shoot? Where the hell do you get off punching my actors?
What the hell was that, Dad?
Just setting the tone.
What am I supposed to do that will make him respect me?
Give it a shot, John. Might wind up liking the kid. What about him should I like? He doesn't respect me, and he doesn't respect my way of life.
Why does everyone in this town have to be so in your face?
Bob, trust me, John. Trust your daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, don't shoot.
It's the cow. He's got to.
This doesn't finish till I do, does it?
Finish inside me.
Wow.
See, and that was the question. That's what I wanted to know about the cow. Whether or not he was a professional actor. Like they said, okay, cow, we need you to fall down now, and the cow falls. Or if they like trank the regular cow and he just passes out when he gets around to it.
It must be weird making a movie about making a movie where the movie that you're making the movie inside the movie is not the real movie. It's kind of confusing, right? We're setting up a set and cameras, but they're not the real cameras. It's just, it feels like, let's do a podcast about doing a podcast.
What if the real director gets in a fight with the fake director because they both have a different direction for the movie? Oh no!
But the fake director is an actor, so it doesn't matter what direction he wants to take the movie. The real director says that's not the direction we're going to go.
What if he's a true method actor?
The most relatable part of that is when Matt takes the headphones off, throws the headphones down, says, "God damn it!" and walks up. That's me.
Yeah, we've seen that
all day long.
Yeah, his hands were soft and supple.
Not really. They're kind of hard and I don't know. Calloused is the word I'm looking for. Anyway, great guest, Matt Drago. I should have mentioned to him that we're having a big time director on Thursday, and there might be some collaboration there.
I don't think they're the same genre of movie making.
That's what I call
they may not be. Don't know if Matt would be interested in even doing porn.
Oh, wait, Brazzers is porn?
In porn, you're doing stuff. Okay, some people in porn are literally just doing non-porn stuff.
I didn't know. If this guy's a porn guy, I could just see it.
What was his name? Vic Legina.
And a lot of that comes.
So wait a minute.
I've been in movies where there are sex scenes and you're not having sex. Okay, so you could be in a porn. You could be like the perky sidekick who so nerdy you'll never get laid.
Who the fuck wants to be in a porn if they're not gonna fuck? That doesn't make any sense. Let's go into an all-you-can-eat buffet with them.
I would be in one like that because I'm not willing to have my wife kill me over a movie.
For people on the radio, I'm sorry. Once again, I've lost control of the car. Somebody else has taken the wheel and crashed us primarily. Now, this is the porn guy. I'm concerned because he asked me if I would do a private reading for him. And he wanted me to meet him at Ace Hardware.
Yeah, there's a casting couch out back.
Not in the snow here. It's snow. TD, there's snow by you guys last night?
No, it's 50. It's 52 degrees here.
52?
We got some sleet last night for a little bit, but that's about it.
Oh,
I didn't.
Snowed pretty hard here.
It's 52 degrees, and everybody in my town is dying right now. My kids are homesick. The school's about to be shut down.
I saw your kid hugging you. Are you immune to kid germs? Because first of all, kids are like living petri dishes.
Is it flu or is it tuberculosis? There's a TB outbreak in the United States now, right?
They have to go to urgent care because they've had 102 temps since last night. So,
oh my
goodness, they're going to urgent care as soon as my wife gets home from work. But she works at the school. They just told me that they had 146 kids not show up to school today, so they might be shutting it down completely.
Well, they were partying. These are after Grammy parties.
This is bad because I had a stroke and I showed up to work.
Those kids were DEI hires. That's why they're not.
Probably. Well, my wife is my wife still had to work today, which like I said is at the school. But yeah, she said it's not looking good there. So.
Wait, your wife works in the school?
Yeah, she's a lunch lady.
Is it the same Lutheran school that you do your thing at? Yeah.
I got fired.
He can't do it anymore because
they have 4 teachers sick, and they had 4 teachers sick, and they still didn't call me to sub.
Yeah, he has a potty mouth.
One thing we didn't get to talk to Matt Drago about, which I'm curious about, is what would Jesus do? Because that's a question that I ask a lot, because we have so many, people wearing the label of Christian, but don't think what Jesus would do is necessarily. And I think that's the whole idea of being a Christian, is to not just celebrate the name or a statue or any of this stuff, but to live as Jesus would have lived. That's kind of what would Jesus do is the ultimate question. And so maybe another day, maybe if he's gracious enough to come back, we'll talk about what would Jesus do. But you know what? I hope this movie is a hit for him.
We're also presuming that anybody really knows what Jesus would do. I mean, yeah, people have like the quote the versions of the gospel to go by.
I've been watching The Chosen a lot, and I think I know what Jesus would do. But again,
I'm just saying that. Is it not possible that Jesus could have evolved at some point? Because, like, for example, there was no TikTok, or there were banks.
Jesus would TikTok.
No.
You don't think Jesus would TikTok even to get the word out there to do a few parables?
No.
Because remember, Jesus would go where people, one of the complaints against Jesus was that he would reach out to sinners in the places where sinners were.
Right.
And if they're on TikTok, why wouldn't he go to TikTok?
That's a good point.
Thank you. I did used to be a minister.
Nah. That's going a little too far.
Yeah, but you were also a stripper, so I don't know.
I was a minister and a stripper.
So this Chosen thing, though, not to give them a plug, like they don't need a plug here, but I'll give them one anyway. Chosen thing, I'm probably seen the first 4 episodes like 9 times each episode because it's on streaming. But it does change the way I think about things a little bit, because there's this scene, Simon, who later becomes Peter. I don't know. You're not allowed to just change your name in those days. Anyway, he's questioning. He's mad at Jesus, and Jesus says to him, "Do you know why I allow trials? And it's to strengthen your faith." And I'm thinking, it's not working for me, because I feel like I'm in that same place where my faith has been broken, completely destroyed, and doubting everything. And like the more hardship that gets thrown at me, the less faith I have. And I was having this discussion with my wife the other day. The times I've had faith is when things go right in my life. And then I say, see, there is a God. He does love me. But when things go wrong, I'm pretty quick to just turn my back on it. So I'm not sure that was a good strategy.
Years ago, I went to my mom because I was distraught over something. And I was talking to my mother just as a son would talk to his mom. Okay, and my mom says, "Well, baby, the Lord's not going to give you more than you can handle."
Hold on a second. Wait a minute.
Slappity,
boy.
Your mom was mom step and fetch it? Is that what you're telling me?
But the truth of the matter is, my mom has been dead for so long, I can't remember what she actually sounds like anymore. And I can't remember what my father sounds like, so they both sound the same way.
Yeah, I imagine his mom.
I'm just assuming. Hold on. I'm assuming Carol's not home right now hearing you do that voice, because she'd be.
Yeah, she is.
She'd be whipping you.
No, that's not the step and fetch voice. It's the step and fetch voice I get the whippings for.
Ooh,
and I've been
she
saying,
whips you?
Huh?
She whips you?
It's consensual. I get to pick out the whip. We have like the Friday whip, the Monday whip.
Don't act like you don't have a whole catalog full of whips there. We've seen your collection.
I just don't want to hear any stories about someone walking in on you and your wife playing Roots.
Well,
so I said, "Mom," I was telling my mother how things weren't going the way I wanted them to be going in my life at that time. My mother goes, "Well, you know, but the Lord won't give you more than you can handle." And I said, "Well, Mom, I think God's got me mixed up with some other Glenn. So there's another Glenn Fenderson out there who has a life I'm supposed to live, and that one, you know, it should have my life. I think God's got him mixed up, you know, because I don't think God knows what God is doing sometimes. I don't think God is paying attention."
You are going to hell. You'll be able to catch Ron's show though this weekend. So that's wow. Yeah. So
I'm sorry, you know, if I have offended the great God and he can't take criticism.
I wrote a song about called Sweet Forgiveness. That's about the idea of I got a lot of flack from Christians about this, but the idea that if there's a God and Jesus is God and all, that they would forgive me, right? They love me. They would forgive me for the times I don't believe, right? But that's not a popular thing to say among true believers. But where did I want to go here? I forgot now. I got distracted. Give me something to remember where my dementia was taken. Oh, Matt did allude to a political kind of statement in somewhere in Montana. Montana, right?
Yeah, Montana.
I like him. Was it Wyoming?
I almost thought Wyoming also for some reason. Yeah.
What the? We didn't get to what the actual political substance of it was. Because yesterday, because he was talking about bringing people together. Yesterday, somebody I've known literally for 65 years. It was on Facebook, and he saw a joke, a political joke, and he said, "Go kill yourself. I'm sick of you. I'm just sick of all your bullshit." Wow, that's a kind of nice thing to say, but I don't feel like there's any bringing people together when you start out with "Go kill yourself."
Yeah, that's probably not going to help.
I don't think that fence can be mended.
Ron, do you have showbiz news?
Nah.
No. Yeah, Grammys was last night. Minimum wage or whatever, living wage. That's it.
Well, one of the messages they was talking about as far as politically was that basically respecting people where they are. You know, having appreciation
respecting people where they are. If they kill themselves, you'll respect them. Like he wanted me to, and I'm just maybe his whisk almost came close last night. Like, I wasn't killing myself.
I mean, I don't think it was a political statement, Lloyd. They actually were endorsing candidates as much as a political statement, as much as they were trying to express points of views and ways of lives and how we should kind of respect each other for the lives that we're living and the lives that we want to live. But also, the problem is that there are those who are anti-choice. And so, yeah, they want you to respect the way they live, but they want to control the way you live, you know.
This is my problem with my conundrum. Is it a conundrum?
We don't know yet.
What does conundrum actually mean? I don't know. I'm using words I don't know what they. I think it means what I think it means. Lindsey Graham, he's a guy who's in the closet. He does, and I'm not a big fan or a proponent of outing somebody who wants to keep their life a secret, but he's not really doing a good job of.
No, he's a terrible job at staying in the closet.
But instead of encouraging other people to come out of the closet, he wants to drag everybody back in the closet with him, right? So I feel like
because he's lonely. He's lonely in the closet.
Well, I feel like that becomes fair game to out a guy like that because, you know, it's one thing. If you want to stay in the closet, I can respect that. I won't, you know, but if you want to drag everybody back in, then it becomes fair game to drag you out, right? Or am I wrong? You think I'm wrong?
I mean, if you're going to try to force everyone to go underground, then yeah, you get what fucking comes to you.
Yeah, I don't understand people. You know, this is probably my most overused phrase of the last 10 years or so. I don't understand people who just want to, like people who are against themselves. Caitlyn Jenner, whatever, or you know, taking
blows my mind. It just blows my mind that people are like,
it's like me being anti-bald.
Yeah, it just. Well, my thing is why are we so concerned what people do in their bedrooms? Like it literally doesn't affect you in any way, shape, or form.
Or bathrooms. I've never been
Anyone
in
what anyone does
bathroom where I
sexually.
thought I had a sexual thought in the bathroom. Now I could. What was that guy's name?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But bathrooms are not a sexual place.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Between what people are doing sexually and then where they use the bathroom. Why are these two things so concerning to the old white guys that run this country? It makes no sense to me.
Will you be talking about this on Beyond Classified tonight?
No, I don't really think it's a conspiracy as much as it's a bunch of closeted dudes that are just upset that they can't be open about their wants and needs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just sad.
You don't want to plug Beyond Classified tonight.
I do want to plug it. Actually, I was going to see if we could play the intro here at the end.
Oh, I could do the intro right before we that thing about the radio that we don't want to say yet. I just want to take mattdrago.com, folks. So I'll take that out of the banner there. So tomorrow night on Mind Dog TV, the evening edition, I have a lady, Annie Corzin, who's 86 years old, a TikTok sensation. Now, I guess she's got TikTok fame. I don't really follow TikTok. I know Ron and Steven are more active on TikTok. Are you aware of Annie Corzin?
The name doesn't sound familiar. I'd have to look at her face.
Apparently, she had recurring roles on Seinfeld.
What's her name?
Annie Corzin, right? Did I just say that?
No, I know. What was the last name? How do you spell it?
Corzin. I think it's Korzen. Hold on. Yeah, Zen. According to where I found her, she's a Seinfeld actress, and she wanted to. She doesn't look familiar, and I've seen a lot of Seinfeld.
Yeah, she doesn't look familiar to me either, but I mean, she's got 500,000 followers almost.
Is she the one that played Newman?
No, you silly bitch.
No, you know what? I played the trailer.
Soup Nazi. Did she play Soup Nazi?
Hold on, I played the trailer for Somewhere in Montana, right? And I didn't see the horse. It maybe I blanked it out.
It wasn't a horse. It was a cow. That's why you didn't see the horse.
I didn't see the cow that I mistake for a horse in the trailer.
You didn't see it fall over with the flies around the eyes?
I must have been looking away or something at that time.
That's why. That's why because when I saw the first trailer, even though it happened fast, I could see the flies around its eyes, and that's what I wanted to know: are these acting cows, or are these how did they get the cow to fall on command?
Maybe it's just because I'm having mini strokes left and right and don't even know it. Right? Is that what's going on? Yes.
No,
we're not doctors, so.
All right.
I think because the cow was black, you just didn't want to acknowledge it.
Annie is called the crispy TikTok sensation. Crispy TikTok with a
old leathery skin,
crispy cream donuts or something, right? Crispy with a K.
No, she used SPF lotion, and her skin's gotten tough.
All right, it's time to wrap this up, right? Is it time to wrap this? Wait, crispy crackers? No.
Is it going to be enough time to play Steven's thing and to get your music out of here thing?
Of course there is. Where is Steven's thing? I can't see Steven sing. Have you seen Steven sing?
Find the thunder thimble. Look in the thunder thimble.
Listen, I haven't seen it in a long time.
I'll play the thing and then we'll come back and tell people what to do. That little phrase that pays.
Finish inside me.
That's 9 p.m. Eastern tonight, premieres. And Steven, we probably have some clips to play, I think, of some UFO sightings or whatever they are. Maybe
we have some, tonight's episode, like I said, will be an introductory episode, but we'll be touching on the UFO subject and kind of the state of the state of the craze, because the internet's full of both good, bad, and ugly UFO videos. So
are you nervous? Is this your first time hosting the big time extravaganza?
It's my first time hosting anything like this alone, and but I'm not really nervous. I'm excited.
GD will be in the back end, in your back end. He won't be watching the show at all, but he'll be in your back end. We're going to try and hook up the phone lines and have phone calls. I see if people will call in and say, I saw a UFO once and the little green man came out. There will be those.
Yeah, I mean, if that's something that people definitely start participating in, I wouldn't mind having that be in a segment.
They love that. Do you know of Jimmy Church? Jimmy Church? Does that ring a bell?
No, but I know George Norrie.
All right, yeah, George Norrie. He and Jeremy Norrie, who has also been on this program. But Jimmy Church has a very popular live stream. He's like a modern day Art Bell. Lots of people call in. People love to call in and tell about their ghost stories or their UFO stories or their Bigfoot stories or whatever.
Their ball lightning stories.
What?
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. We're gonna talk about all things conspiracy, all things creepy crawlies and spookies, and we're gonna ask the hard questions, and we're gonna call out the bullshit and have some fun.
Hi,
with
Steven. It's Matt from Long Island, New York. I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller. I just want to say I saw a cow and I thought it was a horse.
All right. So when was your last eye exam?
Probably when I last took my last time I got my license renewed. Anyway, there is a phrase that pays, isn't there?
I believe it's don't forget to turn on your radio.
Finish inside me. That's what I call schlong division. Finish inside me.
to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now.